Welcome to Homecoming 2018. We have a wonderful court for you this evening. Our first couple is Maria Apel and Court Elliott.
Maria Apel is the daughter of Dean and Anki Apel and is sister to Jeremiah, Johannes, and Lucas Apel. Maria participates in cross-country, basketball, track, drama club, FCCLA, and FCA. Outside of school, Maria stays busy with a youth group and social outings with her favorite homegirls. Maria is also a worldwide traveler and has lived in Sweden for the past 3 years, making her fluent in Swedish. While in Sweden, Maria exemplified leadership by planning and executing youth basketball camps and immigrant integration. She has also participated in a mission trip in Kenya this past summer. When Maria gets recess from her obligation, she tends to exercise or watch movies. She also enjoys eating waffles, adventuring, and an occasional nap. Maria wants to help people thrive in her future profession, and there are several routes she is considering. She is especially interested in sports psychology.
Court Elliott, aka Two Pint, is the son of Ben and Gretchen Elliott. Court has 3 siblings, Beck, Carrot, and Crew. Court participates in football, wrestling, and baseball. Court was a state qualifier at 4A State in the 182-pound weight class. Court was also named Honorable Mention Linebacker All-League during the 2017 football season. He was also a Kansas Pregame season linebacker pick to watch for the 2018 football season. Court is an active member of K's, where he currently serves as co-president. He is also a member of FCA. Court has been a member of the Wavemaker swim team for 10 years and is an active member of the Salem Sport Youth Group. He has a large mowing business that keeps him very busy when the grass is growing, and also tutors future Vikings during the summer months. In Court's spare time, he enjoys hunting, fishing, and spending time with his bros. He also likes spending time with his big brother Beck. Court's future plans are still in the works, but he's hoping to have them solidified by August.
Our next couple is Haven Shigren and Tim Lambert. Haven Shigren is the daughter of Eric and Rhonda Shigren. Haven participates in volleyball, basketball, pep club, FCA, K's, and National Honor Society. She is also an active member in the Salensburg Youth Group. Haven has been 101 volleyball players to watch in the state of Kansas in the year 2018. She was also awarded All-Team Honorable Mention for the 2017 season. When Haven is not attending school, she enjoys spending time with her friends and family, playing volleyball, and going to Islanity Chick-fil-A. Haven plans to attend Kansas State University and major in kinesiology, specializing in pediatric physical therapy.
Tim Lambert is the son of Tim and Roxy Lambert. Tim participates in football, track, FCA, and National Honor Society, and K's. When Tim is not attending school, he enjoys running, watching TV, and trips to Salina. Tim is a 2-year letter winner in football, and he was named All-League returner in his junior season. Tim is also a 3-year letter winner in track and won 3 state titles last season. He was named Best Boys Track Athlete by Catch It Kansas. In Tim's free time, he enjoys hanging out with friends, watching college football, and taking naps. Tim's future plans are currently undecided.
Our homecoming princess and prince are Rhett Banning and Cruz Swisher. Rhett Banning is the daughter of Kendall and Jade Banning. She has a younger brother, Zan, who's 3, and a little sister, Bex, who is 1. Rhett's favorite part of kindergarten is playing on the playground. Rhett loves finding a comfortable spot to watch her tablet, but really enjoys swimming, gymnastics, and having fun with her family.
Cruz Swisher is the son of Kai and Kelsey Swisher. He has 2 younger sisters, Capon, who is 2 years old, and Cora, who is 3 months old. Cruz's favorite part of kindergarten is playing with his friends at recess. He also enjoys working with his number books and playing at center time. Crew loves to fish and hunt, ride his bikes, and play with dinosaurs. Likes to play with Capon and help with his new sister.
Our final couple of the evening is Kaylee Hansen and Conrad Peterson. Kaylee Hansen is the daughter of Steve and Melinda Hansen and the baby sister to Kirsten and Christian Hansen. Kaylee has also recently added 2 siblings this past summer, Sarah Hansen and Tegan Nusser. At SVHS, Kaylee is involved in volleyball, NHS, FCCLA, band, orchestra, choir, Vision Tech Board, Madrigals, Drama Club, and is her senior class president. In the small town of LBK, Kaylee stays plenty busy with her involvement in 4-H, Lindsberg Swedish folk dancers, her church choir and youth group, and her job at the one and only Scott's Hometown Foods. While life allows for some much-needed downtime, Kaylee can be found having movie parties with her best buds, taking care of her adorable goats, video capturing her and her hilarious friends, and eating enough pizza to feel bad about it later. As she prepares for next fall, Kaylee hopes to attend Kansas State University with a focus in nonprofit management.
Connor Peterson is the son of Eric and Cheryl Peterson, and brother to Jake, Erica, and Elise Peterson. Connor participates in football, basketball, Vision Tech Board, National Honor Society, Drama Club, and FCA. When Conrad is not attending school, he enjoys saving lives at the pool, going to Swedish dance practice, and mowing lawns. He is also a member of the Messiah Lutheran Church group. Conrad has enjoyed being a part of the successful football teams over the past couple of years, and riding with the basketball teams on the way to state in Emporia, and picking out at Pizza Ranch afterwards. In Conrad's free time, you can usually find him chilling at home, laying in bed. He also enjoys going on ice cream runs to Salina and hanging with the bros. Conrad plans on majoring in biology next fall and has not decided on a college yet.
And now what you've all been waiting for. Your 2018 homecoming queen is Haven Sugarin.
And King Conrad Peterson.
everyone, I'm Carson Byers, and today I'm joined by Coach Ramsey, who is the head coach of the volleyball team. Thanks for joining me today.
Yes, thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, well, you guys had a tournament last night. Can you talk about how that went?
So, actually it was a triangular at Nickerson, and we came out a little flat against the Wichita Defenders, which is kind of a homeschool team. And I don't know if having the day off of school played a part in that or not, but we came out a little flat, took us a while to get going. They beat us in the first set. We rallied back to win the next two. And then Nickerson, which is a really excellent ball team, beat us in 2 sets. So we had seen them before at the Halstead tournament. We knew they were going to be tough, and they have a couple girls looking to go D1. So we played tough, but we didn't quite make the turn.
So you opened the season with the CKL preseason tournament. You guys did pretty well, especially for the first tournament. Talk about how important that was to open the season strong.
Yeah, so that preseason tournament, there are 10 teams in our league, and many of them are state ranked. And we came out 5th, so kind of middle of the pack. Had some really great rallies and great plays. Saw some great leadership from our seniors during that tournament, and realized, we still have some progress to make and things to work on, but felt really, really good leaving that tournament in the middle.
Yeah, so this is your first year coaching at Smoky Valley.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide you wanted to coach volleyball here?
When I started teaching in Salina, I coached volleyball then. I was a kindergarten teacher, then I'd go to Salina Central and coach after school. I've always had a love for the sport. Grew up with a family that was really involved with volleyball and had some great success. And been coaching club ball for, 6-7 years. And always thought, if the right opportunity came, I may get back into school ball. So with being at the virtual school, I have a little bit of flexibility in my schedule. I love being around kids, teenagers, most of the time. And just thought it was a great combination.
Yeah. Could you talk about maybe some of the strengths that you found in this team?
First of all, I would say work ethic. Our girls have done absolutely everything we've asked them to do. And that was actually something that drew me to the position as well. I knew there were a great group of athletes, but also a great group of girls, more importantly. And they work hard. They're loyal to each other. They push each other. They're hungry to win. They love the sport. And it's been absolutely a great experience so far.
Yeah, and I know the season's young, but is there a moment throughout any of the matches or any practices that kind of stands out to you?
Yeah. So last week we went up against Abilene, Concordia, and TMP. Again, 3 powerhouse programs in the volleyball world. And we beat TMP, and they won state last year.
Yeah.
So to know that we could pull that off, it took us 3 sets to do it, but that was definitely a high moment for our girls.
Yeah, that's good. So you guys have you're playing Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Southeast, right?
Yeah, varsity goes to Southeast, JV goes to Lions.
What strides are you hoping your team can make going into that tournament?
So we need to be better blockers. We're only averaging 1 to 2 blocks a game, and that's not enough. We need to cut down on errors. We're making too many errors on our part, not forcing it on their part. So I'm hoping that we can cut down some of those stats to reasonable numbers that we can manage, but I just want us to compete. I want us to compete, see where we're at with that group of teams that we've not seen. Abilene will be there, but just see where we fit in the pack.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I have for you. Thanks for coming by and talking volleyball with me. Good luck on the rest of the season. Congrats on the successes so far. So
thank you very much.
Thanks.
In accordance with Case Rule 52, we ask that all players, coaches, and spectators exemplify the type of sportsmanship that would make their school and community proud. Let us all work together in making all high school activities a positive experience. By being courteous and respectful to all players and officials, we can help assure high school activities are indeed the other half of education. Our starters for Hesston on offense: number 1, Cameron Cox; number 11, Jacob Eilert; number 12, G.J. Taves; number 16, Ben Bollinger; number 26, Max Arnold; number 44, Parker Roth; number 50,
and 26 touchdowns. So he is definitely one of those guys we've got to watch out for. Eilert has been their quarterback early in the season, 15 for 28, 187, but we expect Cameron Cox maybe will take over that position tonight. He's been injured and now is just coming back, and so he's going to be difficult for us to be able to handle another one of those weapons to see how smooth he is. The Vikings, however, off to one of their best starts in years. Their 98 points they've scored in the first 3 games is the most points they've scored in the first 3 games all the way back to 2003. And the 13 points we've given up in these first 3 games is also the least amount of points we've given up since 2003. So a good offense, a good defense. You got to love both of those.
Yeah, you got to love those stats, and we hope they'll play out that way as Hesston Swathers coming back on the field. We'll take a timeout. We come back. We'll have an interview with Coach Lambert, plus we'll have some more pregame thoughts. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football, back right after this.
There are few things more important in banking than partnering with people you know. At Bank 6, they pride themselves on being community-driven and helping customers make the best decisions with their finances. Whether it's a personal account or business loan, Bank 6 is there for you. Come see how you can secure a high-interest CD today and put the power of compounding to work. Bank 6 with 2 locations in Salina, 1900 South Ohio and 2101 East Crawford. Bank 6, a division of the Plains State Bank, member FDIC.
And welcome back to more Viking pregame. Don Binks along with Coach Tim Lambert as we get ready to take on the Hesston Swathers, and it's a little bit of a role reversal. It's the 4th week, so it's the start of the playoffs. The district, as that usually was week 7 before, and coming off a close victory. And, wow, lots of things to be concerned about, plus it's homecoming.
Yeah. The national anthem by the Smoky Valley Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Adam Keller. Again, make sure and head out to that tailgate and buy your raffle tickets. Concessions are
coming away with a win. And it's just really about whether we execute and do what we do, and I think the score will take care of itself.
With 3 of your ball players up for candidate for homecoming, does that throw a few distractions into the mix on Friday night?
Yeah. I'm not a real, big fan of I mean, as a football coach, I know that it's a good thing. I think homecoming's a good thing.
Sure.
But they create some distractions for us, but if you let it distract you, it'll distract you. If you don't let it distract you, then it doesn't. It sure doesn't have to. So sometimes we just worry as head coaches that it's going to, and maybe we should not worry as much as we do. I've learned that a little bit, but.
How about a couple of keys to victory, and would that mean completing a couple more passes after such a great start? Lane Shrug struggled just a little bit last week.
Well, that would help. We need to make some, conversions. We need to, and when we get behind the sticks, we need to get back on, as far as first and second down, and not being second and long and third and long, and we just need to be able to. And we're so close, I think, and we've got guys that are open, and we just need to relax and play like we're capable of playing. Turnovers are always huge, controlling the ball offensively, I think, is another big thing. If we can work on them a little bit while we have the ball and be physical, we may be able to wear them down a little bit. I don't think they have a whole lot of depth, and we don't play that many kids, and I think if we can snap the ball more offensively, that's to our advantage.
Sounds like a plan, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you, Don.
Tim Lambert of the Vikings will be back with more pregame right after this.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score time and money. Call State Farm agent Anthony Hopkins, 785-472-4426 today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is
Company services all of North Central Kansas. Do you feel the need for seed? Grow stronger and prosper longer with Phelps Seed. They're your go-to source.
Officials for tonight's game are Dale Ludis, Brian Hope, Stephen Coleman, David Pettis, and Paul Gilliam.
Seeds. If you're in the need, trust in Phelps Seed. With you from the word go.
Do you know what major TV networks, Hall of Fame athletes, wineries, pubs, famous chefs, and brides and grooms from across the country have in common? They all purchase custom-etched glassware at glassdecorators.com. GlassDecorators.com have been providing carefully etched glass for nearly 30 years. An effective tool for company branding, etched glasses are also perfect for school and civic groups, special occasions, and that one-of-a-kind gift they won't find anywhere else. Hemsworth Scandinavian Specialties and GlassDecorators.com, supporting Smoky Valley Athletics since 1984.
The Vikings play here.
And welcome back to Smoky Valley Football. Lindstrom Brothers Field, Anderson Stadium on the campus of Bethany College, where they're having the coin toss out there right now. I want to thank our sponsors that help us with our portion of the broadcast, including Midway Motors. Call Maury Loader for your Smoky Valley real estate needs. Dr. Darrell Loader, Bank of Tescott, Scott's, Viking Auto, Dental Care, Smoky Valley Booster Club, Gallant Tire and Auto, Phoenix Restoration, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farmers State Bank, Arn Reinert CPA, Harry Malari, CNL Heating and Cooling, and People's Bank and Trust. The results of the coin toss?
Swathers won the toss, chose to defer. The Vikings will receive here on the south end.
The Vikings dressed in their all black pants, black shirts, black helmets with white lettering, white numerals trimmed in orange. And the Hesston Swathers, well, they think they're the good guys. They're all white tonight. They got white helmets, white pants, white shirts, red trim with some black, red numerals and letters with some black trim. And it's the Vikings and the Swathers, and 1-1 in their last two meetings, but 8 out of 9 history goes to the Swathers. But tonight, it's the first night of district, and the Vikings and Chapman are 3-0 in district. Hesston and Halstead are 2-1, and Clay Center and Rock Creek are 0-3. So a big matchup also tonight is Chapman against Clay Center. That's a big matchup. See how that 0-3 team will do against the 3-0 team. Deep for the Vikings, Tim Lambert and Andrew Peters. Kicking off is it's either 56 or 57. And it's 56, I think, and it's a left-footed kicker, so that's a little bit different spin on the ball. And we're ready to go. The Vikings are going to be traveling north. Hesston Swathers, a very nice night, hardly any wind, just a smidge of a little wind from the north. Game time temperature about 63 degrees, and we are ready for some action. High end over end kick's going to come down to Peters. He's got it at the 15, coming near side up to the 20, trying to get outside. He's going to be tripped up about the 21 or 22. And sometimes you get that wedge, try to get that wedge set up. It takes a long time, and he ran a long way from one side of the field to the other. And the Vikings will have it 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. The Vikings starters across the line are Conrad Peterson, King Conrad Peterson, Wyatt Reed, Nate Goslin, Ethan Wampler, and John Burks. Wide receiver near side is Carson Byers. Wide receiver far side, Carson Winholtz. Lane Schrog is the quarterback. Court Elliott and Tim Lambert line up behind him in the I formation. It's a toss to Lambert outside, trying to get to far side. He's got some room. He's got some yardage up to the 30-yard line. 9-yard pickup, almost 10 on that first down play. Great offensive push by the Viking lineman.
Yeah, great toss out there to Lambert, and a great lead from Elliott as he gets out in front of him. Again, one of the guys that makes an immediate impact, though, is Parker Roth. We talked about him before the game. I think Roth was the one that was able to step in there and make the tackle. So even on the defensive side, even though it was a 9-yard gain, making his presence felt already, because it easily could have gone for much, much more.
Peters wide to the near side. Carson Winholtz wide to the far side. 2nd down and very short. Schrog under center. Hand off to Cord Elliott, bashing up, and he's got first down yardage. That's about it. Number 57 on the tackle for the Swathers. That's Weaver. He comes in there and makes a big stop on the line, and it's 1st and 10, Vikings.
Yeah, again, nice mix. Getting it up the middle there with Elliott, working the outside on the first play. Got to keep him honest in both directions here. Again, you've got a Swather team that gave up a lot of points last week, and 55 points to Pratt. Their offense has been struggling over the course of the 3 games, so important for the Vikings to get a nice drive down the field here.
Yeah, you want to get a good start, and they do. 1st down and 10. First down on the second play from scrimmage. Here comes Elliott again, passing, and he's got up near the 40-yard line, so he'll get 6, maybe 7. Looks like they're going to spot it at the 39, so that's just a blast right up the middle, and it was positive yardage. 2nd down and 3 for the Vikings. Just underway, no score here. 10:50 left to go in the first quarter. Carson Byers on the way in with the play. Now a timeout from the sideline over here. I don't know what we got going on. Near side official going out to have a little huddle with the other guys.
Looks like might have an equipment issue out there for a Hesston player, but it looks like they've got it taken care of. We're going to reset the play clock here real quick and get us going.
I formation again. Flanker this time is Carson Winholtz. Carson Byers, the wide receiver on the near side. Schrog looks over the defense, fakes it to and gives it to Tim Lambert. He's got first down yardage across the 45 up to 46, maybe 47 yards before he's taken down. And the Vikings just churning up yardage on each play. That's a nice positive because they seem like Nickerson last week was crashing down on the line of scrimmage and making the blocks tough, and now this week we're getting explosion off that front 4.
Yeah, extremely important, I think, to get off to, like we said, that good start, but also, like Coach Lambert mentioned, you're getting ahead of the chains a little bit. You're moving that ball on first down 5, 6, 7 yards, and you're able to keep the ball moving forward. That definitely presents a nice opportunity to have short yardage for your 2nd and 3rd down plays.
Now we got a stoppage of play again. John Burks is coming out. Matt Adams is going to replace him.
Looks like an issue maybe with the chin strap. Looks like maybe that little snap there that's supposed to be on the helmet may have popped off on him. So working on getting that fixed, and got guys on the sideline there willing to offer up their helmets and get him back in the game. That's teamwork right there.
There you go. 1st down and 10 for the Vikings. Cord Elliott pounding through, and he's going to get caught that time. Good stop in the middle. Give credit where credit is due. They make a good stop at the initial line of scrimmage. 1-yard pickup is all on first down. 9:45 to go here, first quarter. Vikings with the opening possession, driving. This drive started on the 21-yard line. Peters coming in with the play for the Vikings. Vikings again all black, and they're ready to go. Travel next week up to Clay Center, 2nd round of district play. I formation again behind Lane Schrog. Let me dance one of the linebackers dancing in and out of the line of scrimmage. Here comes Tim Lambert trying to get outside, powering through midfield and then down below, and there comes a flag in. Coming in the place where it's usually holding, so we'll see what they call, and it is holding on the Vikings. Conrad Peterson out there kicking out his man. He got too much jersey, evidently.
Yeah, it looked like number 53 for them. I'm going to look at name right here. He's been involved in a couple of plays, but he was back in the backfield quickly. That was Sean Dirksen. It looked like Conrad tried to come over and kid him from the backside a little bit and got a little too much jersey there as he tried to keep him off of Tim.
And they're going to accept the penalty, so it'll be from the previous spot. No, they're going to take it from the flag spot, so it's going to be about a 14-yard penalty. It'll go back to the 34-yard line. I want to also thank the listeners at Bethany Home. The Smoky Valley Athletic Foundation was helping to fund some broadcast that goes to Bethany Home. So welcome all of you listening at Bethany Home. Cheer loud, cheer on those Vikings. We'll see if we can overcome this penalty here. It makes it 2nd down and 22. 3 receivers to the right side. Lane Schrog struggled a little bit throwing the ball last week. That one's tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 22 for the Vikings. So that one little penalty certainly makes its difference. And good. And that's a basketball guy you know very well, Doug Blake Martin. He's about 6'4", 6'5", and he got his paw up in the air and batted the ball down, thrown by Lane Schrog.
Does that to us in basketball, too. So you get those 6'4", 6'5" guys. They're difficult to throw over. They're difficult to shoot over. And in that situation, we're running our roll to the far side. He was able to get his mitts up there and get that ball tipped and deflected on its way to Lambert.
Shotgun formation for Schrog again. 2 receivers near side. Flanker beside him is Court Elliott to block. Pass out in the flat. Lambert catches and not going to be first down yardage, but it's going to be across midfield down to the 46. It's going to be 4th down and 2 for the Vikings. That was a great pass, a great catch, and Tim did a good job of getting his feet down before he ran out of bounds.
Beautiful timing. Again, it was a rollout similar to the last play, except for this one coming to the near side of the field. And great throw by Lane. He actually let that go prior to Tim coming out of his break, and the ball was right on. All he had to do was put the hands out, dropped him right in. Like you said, 4th and 2 for the Vikings.
Power up the middle or sweep with Lambert. You got two things if you're a Swather, and you're going to go to Lambert. He's going to get first down yardage. Tough play. Good defense by the Swathers. One of those guys that's been out, number 44, Parker Roth, in on that tackle. But not before Tim Lambert on second effort. He got hit at the line of scrimmage. He had nearly first down on the first contact, but then he made good first down yardage for 3rd and 22. That's an impressive pickup of a first down.
Yeah, it was. Just getting ready to say how we got behind the sticks there due to the penalty, but we were able to come back and make up for it right after that. And a great block kicking out the edge there by Court Elliott as well.
Peters wide to the near side. I formation again. Here comes Elliott running up the middle, churning, gets down to the 40-yard line before he's stopped. He'll pick up 2, maybe 3 on the play, see where they spot the first down or the forward progress. Now the Vikings are running a time-consuming drive. 8.5 minutes, a little less than 8.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. The Vikings' first possession, they started this drive on the 21-yard line. They're taking care of business.
Yeah, and this will be the Vikings' 10th play of this drive. And like you said, we may be able to take up at least half, if not more than half, of this entire first quarter. And again, you've got guys back for Hesston that could be volatile on offense. It's important to keep them from having a chance to do that.
Wide receiver each way for Schrog this time. Hands it off to Elliott, pound in the middle. He's going to get stopped for no gain. So no gain. Boy, there's team tackling as Hesston has 7 or 8 guys on the tackle that time after they get through the first wave of Viking blockers. So no gain on the play, 3rd down and 7 for the Vikings.
Not only that, you noticed each and every one of those guys in there was pulling at that ball, trying to tug it out of Elliott's hands. This team has always been a team that prides themselves on forcing turnovers. They didn't get as many of those last year on us, which I think is what led to that 49-20 game, because last year we were almost dead even in yards for both teams, but the Vikings get a big win. So they're going to keep scratching and clawing, trying to get turnovers from us tonight.
3rd and long for the Vikings, wide receiver each way, still I formation behind Schrog. He's going to toss to Lambert, trying to get outside. He cuts it up the middle. He's going to be short of the first down, but he gets down to the 36-yard line. It's going to be 4th and a long 3, short 4 for the Vikings. See if they go for it again, which they will, because they're down inside, nearing the red zone, but still 14 yards away or 16 yards away from the red zone. Kennedy checks in with the play, Trey Kennedy, as we tick under 6:45 left to go. First quarter, still no score. I formation behind Schrog. He'll go under center again. Big 4th down for the Vikings. Long play count. Schrog dropping back, rolling there. It's wide open is Kennedy. Can he get him the ball? He does. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Boy, did they forget Trey Kennedy. My goodness.
That was a beautiful play off the edge. It was a little play action fake coming around from Schrog, and they bit hard. They thought that was going to be a run. Their defensive cornerback on the near side decided to bite hard on that play, and Kennedy is wide open. It just became a matter of being able to look it right into your hands and finish that play off. And the Vikings complete the 79-yard drive in 12 plays, just above 6 minutes, or about 5:33 used on that drive. So now they'll go for 2.
I formation behind Lane, Schrog, Kennedy and the flanker. Carson Byer, here comes, Lambert. He's tripped up, and Parker Roth right underneath him, undermining him, and the PAT no good. But with 6:27 left, the Vikings take a 6-0 lead. We'll be back with the ensuing kickoff right after this.
Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service, and coverage for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes.
Vikings put together a how many play? 12 play, 13 play?
12 plays on that.
12 plays.
79 yards.
12 play, 79-yard drive for the Vikings on the first possession, taking up over 5.5 minutes. Kennedy will kick off to the Swathers deep at the 10-yard line. They haven't given them the ready for play signal yet, so we're still waiting for that. But the Vikings really look good. A couple of key fourth down conversions on that one. Taken by one of the up guys. No, it bounces. Taken up and running that up the middle. Getting it to the 35-yard line was number 3, Jordan Vogt. And the Vikings on the tackle, Trey Kennedy. And he looks like he's hurt after the tackle. Kennedy taking a little time getting up. We're going to bring one of the coaches out to check him out. It'll be the first time for the Swathers on offense, and they've been struggling a little bit on offense, so we'll see how they can come out here. A 55-0 shellacking by Pratt last week, but they certainly are. Pratt certainly is a great team. We don't want to take anything away from them on that situation, but we beat Larned 47-7 or whatever the score was of the first game. Hesston just got by Larned in week 2, 28-21, so that's a comparable score there that the Vikings certainly want to take into consideration. But if those two guys were out during that section of that game, they're also going to be helping themselves out by being here tonight.
Yeah, in game 1, Hesston was able to put up 420 yards of total offense. Game 2, they reduced that to 254, and then last week they were only able to get 136 yards of total offense against Pratt. So the offensive output has obviously been dropping for them throughout, and like you mentioned, the addition of Roth, the addition of potentially Cox, if we see him come out here and play, that could change some of that and what their abilities are to be able to make plays. And they're very talented athletes. Again, not taking anything away from those other guys, but you've got a guy that's run for over 3,800 yards in his career. He's going to be able to do some things. And I know our Viking defense tonight is going to be really knowing where he is on the field and trying to recognize the things that he's going to bring to the table. He's already brought things to the table defensively.
Yeah, and they, year in and year out, they've been a playoff team, so they know what postseason's about. They know how to prepare. And maybe last week was one of those weeks where they just said, you know what, we're just going to save everybody, get everybody healthy. And I know Jamie Cruz, the coach at Pratt, is a very good friend of mine. They even canceled their JV game last week, so they were certainly taking care of their personnel. 2 receivers for Hesston near side as they help Kennedy off. You'll get over here on the trainer's table and see what happens. Cox will go into shotgun formation with a flanker and a running back beside him. He's going to keep the ball. He's under duress, and he gets wrapped up first by Conrad Peterson, and then Court Elliott finishes him off. Gain of about a yard on the play, but boy, the Vikings snuffed that one out in a hurry.
Yeah, it looked like they were going to try to use Roth as a decoy there on the first play and hit a quick pass on this near side. And the Viking defense, as you mentioned, Conrad Peterson back there in a hurry and Court Elliott back there to finish it off.
2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. A handoff Roth right up the middle, and the Vikings are waiting. It's going to be a gain of another yard on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 8, 7, 8. Maybe we'll see where the spot is. But that one with Roth coming right up the middle got nowhere to go. So two plays get 3 yards, and the Vikings have Hesston where they want him in 3rd and long, where they put 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Roth is besides Cox and the backfield. They're changing their play at the line of scrimmage. Receivers come over and look. Chris McClure signaling a little bit of change for the Viking defense as well. Cox looking over into the flat, missed throws and incomplete. 4th down and long for the Swathers. This could be a quick 3 and out because they're on the Viking side of midfield, and now they will. They're going to do punting. That's a great defensive stand for the Vikings.
Yeah, Cox was looking with the previous quarterback, Eilert, over there on the far side. Tried to hit him on a little pass toward the sideline. Looked like there was a little misread there, miscommunication. The Vikings do force a 3 and out now.
Slow snap, but they get it away. High kick, wobbly kick to the near side. Schrog's going to have no chance at a return, and it's going to go out of bounds near the 30-yard line. So 3 and out for the Vikings defense. That's an A+ mark there for the Viking defense.
Yeah, and again, like we said, they struggled last week offensively. You like to think bringing those guys back is going to make them better. But timing, there's a lot of timing issues that go into that, too, as far as having different guys running the ball. And the Smoky Valley front 4, front seven for that matter, have just done such an amazing job this year shutting people down. Like we said earlier, they've only given up a total of 13 points in the first 3 games of the season, and now potentially here with 5 minutes left in the first, might have another quarter to throw in there as well. So again, good offensive possession, good defensive possession, and now our second offensive.
And here comes Court Elliott pounding up the way. He'll get 5, maybe 6 yards. He'll get across the 35, almost to the 36. Raleigh Wilson was in for the first time as a flanker on that play. And the Vikings get another good chunk of yardage.
Yeah, it looks like Wilson might be in while they work on Kennedy here on the sideline. Couldn't quite tell. Looked like he limped off with possibly some sort of a left leg injury of some kind. He's being observed down there on the bench at this time. But again, Wilson in there in that slot opportunity now, getting a chance to show what he can do.
And big thanks to Dr. Darrell Loader helping the team year in and year out. Here comes Lambert on the outside run. He's got first down yardage and more across midfield and knocked out of bounds by Eilert. No vote as Tim Lambert gets up right to midfield. So 2 plays and 21 yards on that. 2 plays from scrimmage. So the Vikings seeing some things that are working right here on the edge.
Yeah, they did a nice job that time. Had both our tight end and our slot on that same side, the far side of the field, and we were able to seal the edge and get Tim around the corner, and he was able to turn on the jets and have a nice game.
From midfield, first down and 10, Vikings leading 6-0. Here comes Schrog is going to keep it himself. This time he gets a couple yards as he leans forward. There's that big Blake Martin using his length and his reach to get Lane Schrog. He comes from the left defensive end and makes a tackle as Lane's coming on the Vikings' left side. So he went all the way across the formation. That shows his agility.
Agility and some long arms. He was able to get both of them out there and be able to make that play. And again, the Vikings mixing it up, going with some Elliott, going with some Lambert, going with some Schrog, and constantly keeping the defense on their toes.
Winholtz wide to the near side. Flanker is Raleigh Wilson on the near side. Tight end is the near side. And Schrog, I think that's a busted play, but Lane makes a little bit out of it, getting up near the 45-yard line or down to the 45-yard line. It was spotted at the 46. So I think that was going to be a late handoff to Lambert, and Lane chose not to hand it off so it wouldn't be a fumble.
Yeah, it looked like he put it in the stomach there of the fullback going through Court Elliott, and then kind of witnessed that they had some people out on the edge, and like you said, decided not to make that flip or that toss and just tucked it and looked like he might be stopped for no gain, and then he was still able to keep the legs churning and pick up a few yards out of the play.
Big number 67 in there on the middle, Alex Kane. He's 269 pounds. He's a load for John Burks to handle there right in the middle. Here comes Lambert trying the side. He's got some room, a good tackle there, though. It's going to be 4th down and 3 or 2 for the Vikings. Good tackle there as Lambert collided. I thought he was going to try to sidestep, but he maybe has his momentum going the wrong way. I was expecting him to sidestep that tackle, but good tackle was made.
It was kind of an awkward play. It almost looked like he thought he was going to make a couple of cuts there and be able to go, and all of a sudden the tackle was made by number 57, Weaver.
Another big 4th down for the Vikings. 4th down and 3. There's offsides. Good job, Lane Schrog called the defensive corner offsides, and he went into the neutral zone. First down by penalty for the Vikings. That's one of those things where a good quarterback, knows they're anxious, knows they're trying to penetrate, and Lane changed the play count, and it got him a first down.
Good read by the coaching staff, too, to understand that a little bit, because the last time we had a play similar to that, they bit hard off that edge, and that's how we got Kennedy the ball for the touchdown. So they were doing much the same here, really trying to bring that edge guy, and he does jump off sides for the Viking first down.
Wide receiver each way for the Vikings. Schrog under center. It's going to be a handoff to Elliott right up the middle. Get too many Eilerts and too many Elliots on both teams. I get confused. Hesston said they fumbled. They picked up a fumble, but the Vikings will maintain. I didn't see the ball come out. Did you?
I saw a couple of guys dive in right at the last second, and I wasn't sure if maybe somebody got hit into the pile, and then they seemed to think the ball might have been loose. We'll try to catch it here on Smoky Valley Live and see what we've got here on the tape delay and see if we can pick something up as Elliott went around the right side. Yeah, couldn't quite tell. Looked like he was on the ground. Court didn't try really hard to get it. Looks like it's going to stay with the Vikings either way.
Here comes Tim Lambert crushing up the middle. He's going to get down to near the 30-yard line, maybe 31. See where they spot it. Nice pickup after 2nd down and 9. It's going to be 3rd down and about 3 for the Vikings. Lambert really read his blockers well that time and found the little seam and got some positive yardage, so gets them in more manageable third and short. As the Vikings trying to improve their record to 1-0 in district, 4-0 overall for the season, 3-0 in the first 3 games, although last week only an 8-6 victory, but it was a victory nonetheless. Here comes, ball's loose that time, and Schrog, I think, gets on it. No, it's loose. Hesston says they have it. And coming out of the pile, the official says, yeah, you got the ball, we'll give it to you. But a lot of scrum going on there. You'll have to watch it on the live.smokyvalley.org, but we got another Viking player down here.
And that ball popped out right away. It was almost instantaneous. It got out of his hands from Elliott. And then it looked like Schrog was going to have a chance to cover it as he dove on the ground. It looked like he had it, but a couple of Swathers hold him down to where he can't quite reach it. And then number 18 comes out of the pile with it. Garrett Slater ends up holding the ball off on the side, and it is going to be Hesston ball right at the 30. So a promising drive for the Vikings ends, and looks like we have an injury out there as well. Number 62, that is Nate Gross, a little slow to get up, maybe an ankle. Again, that ball gets loose sometimes in there, and people start diving. You can't quite see where they're coming from, and you get a guy cracked back on a leg. You get somebody that has a little hyperextension, so we don't want to overdo that too much at this point in time to see what happened to him. But definitely one of those plays that the Vikings had total control and unfortunately come away with nothing there.
Vikings fumble it away with under a minute to go, leading 6-0, but here comes that powerful Hesston Swather attack. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Vikings spread out their defense all over the field. Cox is going to take it himself, and he's hit high and low. Wampler low, Elliott high, as a gain of about a yard. Pick up on the play, 2nd down and 9 for the Swathers. Great crowd here tonight on hand for homecoming. Second home game is all. They played their opening night was here, and then they were on the road for 2 weeks. So good crowd here on the second game of the year, which ends up being homecoming. 3 receivers to the far side for Cox this time. A new back in the backfield is looking over the far side and complete. First down yardage and more up near the 45-yard line. Receiver was number 16.
Looks like Ben Bollinger.
Bollinger on the carry, so Cox threw that one right between the 1 and the 6, so there was no miscommunication that time. And good tackle by the Vikings, Peters and Schrog. Schrog one-on-one on the receiver on the far outside. Carson Winholtz one-on-one on the receiver on the near side. Pistol formation this time because Cox is between the fullback and the center, and now there's a timeout. Well, that's the end of the quarter. Quarter number 1 is in the books, and the Vikings lead at 6-0. We'll be back for quarter number 2 right after this.
I really appreciate the faculty and staff here at Bethany. They care about their students, and they're helping them achieve their goals and to be successful.
It's a Christian base.
Pass is complete from Cameron Cox to number 44, Parker Roth. Tackle by number 10, Court Elliott. Good for a Hesston first down. Pass ball is incomplete from Cameron Cox to intended receiver number 11, Jacob Eilert. Brings up 2nd and 10. Pass is incomplete from Cameron Cox to intended receiver number 12, G.J. Taves. Brings up 3rd and 10. Pass complete from Cameron Cox to number 16, Ben Bollinger. He's tackled by number 22, Carson Winholtz. Number 44, Parker Roth, is our ball carrier. He's stopped by number 77, John Burks, and number 35, Blake Keeble. Turnover to Smoky Valley on down. Pass ball is incomplete from number 18, Lane Schrog, to intended receiver number 8, Tim Lambert. Brings up 2nd and 10. Ball carrier number 10, Court Elliott. Tackled by number 64, Blake Martin. Loss of 1, 3rd and 11 for Smoky Valley. Number 8, Tim Lambert on the carry. He's tackled by number 12, G.J. Taves, assisted by number 44, Parker Roth. Gain of 3, 4th and 9 for Smoky Valley. Ball's received by number 28, Brady Cox. Tackle by number 75, Matthew Adams, and number 63, Ethan Wampler. We do have a flag on the play. Personal foul called against the Vikings.
Out and have that chance.
Couple of scores. Salina South trails Wichita Campus. Central up on Hutch 14-0. South down 8-0. And Minneapolis over Ellsworth 7-6. Some early scores. Shotgun formation with backs on each side of him for Cox. He's going to take it himself. He made the wrong choice. He should have given it away as he only gets a yard maybe on the play. Second down and 9 for the Swathers, who now are in Smoky Valley territory. Vikings still lead 6-0, but the Swathers have it after that 15-yard penalty, have it at the Viking 45-yard line. Two receivers near side, one to the far side. Backs are split on each side of the quarterback, Cameron Cox. And he is even with them. Sometimes the quarterback goes deeper. It's going to be an option play to Roth. He's got a little bit of room, but Blake Hebel right there to meet him, mano-a-mano. And Parker Roth maybe wins the battle a little bit, but he gets driven down and maybe a half a yard on the play. I think Blake Hebel got the better end of that one.
I was going to say, there was quite a collision over there. It looked like Raleigh Wilson bit pretty hard on the edge, and it looked like two of our players took the quarterback, and it looked like maybe the pitch might be open, but Hebel came out of nowhere to get great contact, and he was able to finish him off for a short gain.
Three receivers near side for Cox in that pistol formation. This time looking, he's got trouble here, Conrad Peterson, but he gets away from Conrad. Cox laying down and completed. First down yardage. Boy, that was very good buying time. Conrad Peterson just about had Cox for a loss, but he escaped that trouble. And then the receiver down there, number 12, Taves, made a good run down and then a comeback and got the pass completed for a first down at the 28-yard line. First down and 10. Hesston Swathers.
Yeah, the defense did a fantastic job, especially the secondary, of being able to cover, but you can't cover for, forever, and that's exactly what happened there.
Quick pass to the near side, caught, and driven down with a gain of about 7 or 8 yards on the play. Pass completed to number 18, that is Slater. Schrog on the tackle for the Vikings, second down and a long 2, short 3. For the Swathers, who put two receivers to the near side, one to the far side, and split backs beside the quarterback. Quarterback's going to hand it off to Roth, trying to get outside. There's a hold. It didn't get called, and the Roth gets first down yardage inside the 10-yard line. Hesston is in the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. The Vikings holding on to a 6-0 lead here, but Hesston now knocking on the door.
The Vikings have made a couple of adjustments now. They're actually in more of a 3-4 look at this point in time with 4 linebackers out there and only 3 across the front. On that last play, they're back to having the 4 down linemen again. But again, it looked like on that left side of the Viking defensive line, there might have been a little bit of a hold on Hesston, but it was not called.
Here comes Parker Roth, and he's a man handled by the Viking front. Wampler there first. And then finished off his 45, Dax Hop.
45 is Hop. He was back there. A host of Vikings showing up back there, including Conrad Peterson. I think Lambert was in there as well. But a great first initial effort by Wampler.
Good job, Nate. Conrad Peterson, Wampler, Burks, and Hop are the front 4 for the Vikings right now in the red zone. Cox in that pistol formation with Parker Roth right beside him. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the far side, and a flanker to the far side. They get ready, set, and then they stop and look at the sideline for what play they're going to call. 6:43 left to go, second quarter. Vikings lead 6-0. A long delay. Oh, here comes a run out to the side. Schrog trying to get the tackle and then help from his teammates, but inside the 10-yard line goes number 26. I didn't have a name on that one.
Max Arnold.
That's Arnold on the carry, and he'll have the penalty, or not the penalty yardage, but the lost yardage down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7.
Yeah, that was one of those plays again where it looked like we almost had him. Schraub came up out of his corner position, and it looked really close to maybe a block in the back.
Yeah.
But either way, Arnold was able to get the ball down to about the 9-8 yard line down in there. Took a pretty good shot from Lambert and Kennedy over there, but again, short yardage here from the 9. They got most of those yards back. So 3rd and about 5, 6?
3rd and about 7, I called it, but for the first down, and 10 for the touchdown. Cox in that pistol formation with Roth behind him, and now Hesston's going to call a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 5:45 left to go. First half, Vikings up 6-0, back right after this.
Smoky Valley Chiropractic. Dr. Daryl Loader has been on the Viking sidelines since 1995. A doctor with advanced certification in both wellness and sports injury management, he is the resident expert in the Smoky Valley, helping others live long, active, healthy lives since 1995. Trust your Smoky Valley real estate needs to Mari Loader of Coldwell Banker Antrim Piper Winger Realtors. A Smoky Valley business owner since 1995 and a community volunteer, no one knows the entire Smoky Valley area the way that Mari does. Call her for your real estate needs. Call Mari, call it sold.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Big Six is proud to support Salina and the surrounding area because your community is our community. Stop in and secure a high-interest CD today at one of our 2 Salina locations, 1900 South Ohio or 2101 East Crawford. Bank 6 is a member FDIC and a division of the Plains State Bank.
Boyd Accounting provides professional accounting services in the Lindsborg area. Call them today at 227-2589 for all your accounting needs.
The Swathers send 3 receivers. They're kind of tightly bunched on the far side, 1 on the near side. Cox is going to roll out the far side, still rolling, looking in the flat, almost intercepted and caught. It's going to be, they say it's going to be a completion for about 3 yards, so it's going to be still 4th down. I don't know how that happened, but he must have been laying on the ground. The ball got tipped and it was loose in the air. And somehow, who ended up catching it?
I believe Bollinger caught it over there, but I think it was tipped. Was that number 22 over there that was in the route? No, number 12. Number 12 was in the route, actually tips the ball, and Bollinger ends up catching it about 4 yards shy of the first down.
4th and 3. Parker Roth going to try out on the outside, and he's not going to make it.
He got the arm stretch there. It'll be interesting to see what they give him.
Where do they give the spot at? I don't think he made it. We'll see where they spot it. The white man in the white hat turns around and says he didn't get it, and the Vikings hold again on 4th down.
Great effort by Roth as he's coming around the side on the far side. It looked like he might only pick up about a half a yard to a yard as the Vikings really had it closed off out there. First one to make contact, Matt Adams, and then coming in to finish it off was Dax Hopp, but he stretches the arm out and is able to get it about a half a yard shy of the first down. So the Vikings will take over, but they will take over all the way down around their own 4 yard line.
Good to see Nate Groslin coming back in, number 62, so he's back in there. So they have their original front 4 +1. Wyatt Reed is a +1. But the Vikings have a task ahead of them to get out of the end zone. They'll go wishbone formation and hand off, I think, to somebody inside there. We'll see who ends up with the ball, but they get out to the 5 yard line.
Yeah, it looks like Court Elliott there, that front guy in that wishbone, being able to take it up there. Not a lot of yardage when you get into that wishbone formation. Sometimes there's not a lot of room.
No.
And you know the Swathers are putting about as many people in the box as they possibly can there to make the stop. But again, you just want to get out of that shadow of your own goalpost there.
2nd down, and we'll call it 7. 4.5 minutes left to go until halftime. Vikings leading 6-0. Here comes Lambert trying the far side. He's got some room. He'll get up to near the 10-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 3 for the Vikings.
Yeah, as you pointed out, great
push.
to see Groslin back out there. You know, he was stretching out the knee on the sideline there for a while and looked a little tight, but he was able to get back out there. And nice to have that front 5 back out there doing their job. And then, of course, Hebel at the tight end position. And they do clear so much space for the Vikings to be able to move and get that running game going now as we have a 3rd and about 4.
3rd down for the Vikings to go back to I formation this time. No, it's back to Wishbone. I didn't see Elliott back there. Here comes Lambert trying the middle, and he almost breaks it. He gets first down yardage across the 15, but he was one shoestring tackle away from going 90 yards.
Wishbone is so good to us sometimes because it does open up so many big holes there. And like you said, if you can avoid that one shoestring tackle, you might be able to break one and take it to the house.
Yeah, because like you said, they're packing everybody in the box, and Lambert gets one more step outside of that grasp. He would be off to the races. Still Wishbone formation, but a first down for Smoky Valley. Here comes Tim again. He gets powered down this time. He'll get about 2 yards, maybe 3 on the carry. But the Vikings would certainly like to score here before halftime. Now a 3:15 and counting, leading 6-0, but they'd like to add to that lead. Hesston, on the other hand, would call it a victory if they held the Vikings to only 6 points in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that was a tough drive for them. You know, you get all the way down to the 5-yard line, and you want to be able to punch it in. So, that could be something that comes back to bite them here later.
I formation this time behind Schrog, but Wilson in motion to the far side, wide receiver to the far side. Now the Vikings don't like what they see, and they call timeout. We'll keep this one here. Want to thank Harry Malari, C&L Heating and Cooling, People's Bank and Trust, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farmers State Bank, Arn Reinhardt CPA, Smoky Valley Booster Club, Gallant Tire and Auto, Phoenix Restoration, Lindsberg Family Dental Care, Viking Auto, Scott's, Bank of Tesket, call Mari for all your Smoky Valley real estate needs, Dr. Darrell Loader, Midway Motors, and Art Shirt for helping us with our portion of the broadcast. The Vikings, well, they're certainly dominating the time of possession, but both teams now, Vikings have gone for it on fourth down 3 times, I believe. Hesston has gone for it twice in this last quarter on fourth down, and both times been unsuccessful. The Vikings had 2 big fourth down conversions in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's definitely coming down to who can control the trenches. It seems like both teams realize that scoring is going to be a premium, and they've got to make sure when you have the ball that you have a chance to score. The Vikings have 146 yards of total offense to Heston's 84. 59 yards passing for Hesston, 56 for Smoky. It's on the ground where Smoky Valley has really put it to them at 90 yards to 25. And then the time of possession, they even it out a little bit. The Vikings 11.5, and right now it looks like Hesston about 7.5.
Second down and 8 for Smoky Valley. 2:51 left to go until halftime. Trying to fake it to Lambert, and Schrog is going to keep it. He's going to slip. He slipped trying to cut. You don't see many slips on the turf, but he went to cut pretty sharply. He had Lambert out on the wide pitch, but he elected to keep it himself. He saw a little crease there. And he's been, the first couple of games, he's been so good at finding those little creases. But last week, Nickerson really played him well. That play wasn't very successful last week either. So 3rd and long now for Smoky Valley. Byers goes out to the far side. I formation behind Lane Schrog. Schrog dropping back to pass, looking over here in the flat. Going to be caught. No. Bobbled and then not caught by Raleigh Wilson. So it's 4th down, Smoky Valley.
Interesting. I didn't even know if he was going to be able to get it through Eilert's hands because he jumped right as Lane threw it, and it actually went right between his arms. And so pretty accurate throw there considering what he had to throw over, and unfortunately it wasn't caught along the sideline.
Punting again. Is that Jake Lucas punting?
Yes, it is.
Well, Lucas in there to punt. High snap, but he goes and gets it. The end-over-end kick is going to bounce about the 40-yard line, take a Viking bounce, and Arnold's going to let it drop as it goes across midfield and down to the 49-yard line. So a good bounce by Lucas on the punt, and that gives the Viking defense 50 yards to hold for 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Couple of scores from around the league right now. Halstead up 30-0 on Rock Creek. Hillsborough up 33-7 on Sacred Heart. Holcomb up 7-6 on Nickerson. Hesston, of course, the Hesston-Smoky Valley game we have here. Andale and Haven are tied at 0. Pleasanton and TMP also 0s. Pratt up 13-0 on Larned. And Lyons Sterling, no score.
Kind of a surprising score there, Andale. Maybe they had a late start or something, but Andale, very powerful team year in and year out. 3 receivers for Hesston on the near side. Cox looking to in the middle. He's under pressure now. He's getting out of the pocket. He's going to get some yardage. There's going to be a flag, and it'll be holding. Comes in the area that's normally called holding anyway. We'll see what they come up with, but going out there on the outside, boy, Conrad Peterson got out there he must have been shadowing Cameron Cox because he was out there on the sideline. I saw Tim Lambert as the play was ending, go hop over somebody, and it was Conrad Peterson already out there on the side. So it's going to be a holding penalty against Hesston. I'm sure the Vikings will take that. That'll push them back. He got 5 yards on the carrier, 6. It'll go from the previous spot, so it's going to be first down and 20 now for the Swathers.
Yeah, if you rewind your video at home there on Smoky Valley Live, you'll be able to see Conrad go from the right side,
I know
deal with his blocker, and then chase him all the way to the left sideline. And that was a really impressive play on behalf of Conrad.
He's the right side and defensive end for the Vikings on this side. He went all the way over, and he beat Tim Lambert over to the other side. That's what the surprising part. 3 receivers to the near side for Hesston. Minute 46 left to go. Vikings lead 6-0. Cox is going to fake a throw, now go deep on the sideline. And Carson Winholtz with excellent position there. He had that receiver outside of the field of play, too. He's begging for a penalty, but Carson didn't do anything. He just played defense. He was right there in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, it was just a double move attempt. He went about 5 yards up the field, made it look like he was going to run a hitch, and then he took off the rest of the way. And, Carson really did not bite on the hitch. You've got a team that has first and forever, first and about 17 or 18 here, and he decides I don't have to play it that tight, and so he lays off of it. He was easily in position to make that play, even though, like you said, he wanted the pass interference, but it wasn't.
He didn't flail away at his arms whatsoever. Here's a pass down the middle, caught by Roth, and on first down yardage at the 40-yard line. So there's a 22-yard pickup by Parker Roth from Cameron Cox, and he laid out to catch that one. And great accurate pass by the Swathers.
Very accurate, because there were about 4 Vikings in the vicinity. He pretty much threaded a needle through all 4 of them. Roth basically out-elevated them and picked up the pass and was able to get the first down.
Vikings bring another person into secondary. There's false start on the receiver on the far side. He went on 2, and the count was on 3. Another 5-yard penalty. See how Hesston can deal with their penalties here. They overcame the holding penalty and had a second down and 20. Now, can they overcome the 5-yard penalty, make it first down and 15? More importantly, just 1:25 here left before halftime, at the Vikings leading 6-0. But Hesston seeming like they're comfortable in what they're doing. Over to the far side goes a pass, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Taves. That was a bad for them.
Yeah,
good for us.
That was a pretty good throw. It was a nice route, actually. It was a little combo route where the outside receiver kind of runs a post, and the inside receiver runs the flag there. And he was wide open the way it was set up. And probably, for all intents and purposes, he should have caught the ball.
Well, he was probably thinking about sideline, because he was getting pretty close to the sideline, but he concentrated more on his feet than on the ball, and it slipped through his fingertips. So second down and 15. Cox dropping back to pass, going to look in the flat. No, slip screen up the middle, complete. But a Viking there pulling down
Matt Adams.
Blake Hebel and Matt Adams in on the tackle. So a gain of about 5, maybe 6 on the play. Third down and nearly 10 yards.
It's a well-designed play. They run the back out of the backfield, making it look like it's going to be like an H screen, a halfback screen, and then they bring the receiver back in for a middle screen. It worked pretty well.
Cox looking to the sideline again. He's got a receiver. He's going to overthrow that one, and it's going to be fourth down and 10 with 44 seconds left to go. He just simply overthrew that one. An intended receiver there on the far side with Peters on the coverage and Schrog over here. But just simply overthrew Taves that time.
Yeah, that was the exact same route they had run on their first down play or second down play, and it was open again, but like you said, just overthrows him.
3 receivers near side, 1 to the far side. Pistol formation for Cox, looking near side all the way, has a route and drop. Wow, that was going to be open for first down yardage. Bollinger was the intended receiver, and it was a little bit behind him, but it was one that he'll tell you he should have caught that, and it would have been first down yardage. But the Vikings hold on fourth down again, so another fourth down that the Swathers go for and turn it over. Good D.
Another nice play call. They had the two receivers there run seams routes just heading up the field, and then have the one receiver just slide underneath them on a little under route. He was open. He was probably going to catch the ball about 2 to 3 yards shy of the first down, but looked like he might have had an opportunity to keep running had he caught it.
2 receivers near side for the Vikings, plus Lambert, and makes it 3 receivers to the near side. Vikings maybe going to go for the home run. Schrog rolling out into the flat, still looking. He's under pressure now. He's going to tuck it and run the other way. Going to cut it up the middle and get up to the 45-yard line, 46-yard line before he's driven backwards. Vikings going to call timeout. 26.8 seconds left to go. The Vikings aren't going to just sit down and take the knee here, and they're going to look to get, because one missed tackle and Tim Lambert can take it. You know that. So we know we got the speed, and they don't have the speed to cover for it.
Yeah, that was an interesting play there too. The way they rolled Lane out right, looking for the pass, and then it was almost as if the line kind of established a wedge there, hoping to run him back on the back edge of that. But pursuit from Hesston was really solid there. But really impressed by the Vikings' moxie here of trying to maybe either get down and get a score, or maybe get close enough that you try a field goal. That may be the difference in a game like this, and being able to get up 9-0 as opposed to 6-0. And last week that came in and was difficult for Nickerson, getting behind us by 8-6 and then trying to come back. So you definitely want to take points wherever you can find them.
Absolutely. And one big play, I thought maybe Lane was going to go ahead and take that out to the Hesston sideline, because you're right, it looked like the sideline was going to be open, but they filled in quickly. He had to cut it back up and got about 7 yards on the play. So it's 2nd down and 3, just shy of midfield. Ball is going to be spotted at the 46-yard line. 26.8 seconds left. The Vikings now, I believe, have just one timeout left. So unless they get out of bounds, they'll have to use another timeout. But the first down, the clock does stop on a first down. So the Vikings could have that potential to get a stoppage of play by the first down. Lambert in the flanker position, 2 receivers outside of him, Peters and Winholtz. Schrog in that shotgun formation. Now there's a motion. Court Elliott started leaning just a little bit before the snap, and they're not used to being in that position. They sometimes go down on a 3-point stance when you're a back, and now you're in that. You got your hands on your pads, on your thigh pads, and you know when the play count's coming, and you want to get a step ahead to get that block. And Court Elliott just leaned a little bit too much. It was just so little. He could have kept the flag in his pocket.
We'd like him to, at least, wouldn't we?
We would.
You should have one freebie a night, right?
Yeah. One do-over. Hesston would like a couple of do-overs.
It's like my mulligans in golf.
They're trying to reset the clock back to 20. I think it was 26 point something.
What's he saying? 26.8. 26.7.
So 1 second will be put back on the clock. Vikings still leading 6-0, but a lot of little intricacies going on here before halftime. Vikings have it 2nd down and long now after the 5-yard penalty. I'm having trouble getting the clock set at 26.7.
Want to again say what a great job people do here around here. Margot Lysell, of course, leading the cheerleaders. Angela DeLiesel in charge of the dance team. You've seen them out here all throughout the evening. Like you mentioned earlier, great crowd. Adam Keller, of course, directing our band. We had a concert last night that was, you can still see that, I think, a replay of that on Smoky Valley Live if you didn't get a chance to see it. Just a lot of great things happening here in the fall as we're a full month into school now. All of our sports, all of our activities rolling well.
Speaking of sports, we're going to have an interview with Kira Haxton here just before the start of the second half. I'll get some results of cross country and volleyball both, plus Smoky Valley tennis. Vikings have it. Schrog rolling out near side. In trouble now. He's going to throw it deep down the field. He's got Lambert. He's going to come back and catch it at the 30-yard line, get out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A great pass by Schrog. Great continuing of the route by Tim Lambert.
Interesting. Schrog almost slipped again trying to plant out there. So this here damp night after our rain showers last night, seems like it's extremely difficult for them to be able to get their footing in a great 36-yard pass play, even after the slip, as Lambert gets open and is able to get the ball out of bounds for the Vikings as well.
17.3 seconds remain now. Vikings still have a timeout now. That's important. 2 receivers far side, Lambert and Winholtz. 1 receiver, Peters, near side. Schrog in that pistol shotgun formation again. Low snap again. Schrog's going to take it himself, run it up the middle. He's got some running room. He's inside the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Lane Schrog from the 23 yards out. Lane Schrog just fooled everybody. He kept looking like he was going to get tripped up. and got another possession or got another burst of speed and took it in from the 23-yard line.
What a great run by Schrog up the middle, and what a huge drive for the Vikings just before half, as it looked like Hesston was getting a little bit of momentum offensively on their last two drives, and they didn't come away with anything. The Vikings take the ball on their own side of the field with under a minute and are able to get the ball down the field on a couple of big plays, including the pass play to Lambert, and then finally the 23-yard score by Schrog.
2-point conversion attempt now with flanker Raleigh Wilson, wide receiver Winholtz near side. I formation. Schrog will be under center for this attempt. Toss it to Lambert to try to get outside. He's got it. Good. 2-point conversion is good, and our score with 10.9 seconds to go in the first half. Smoky Valley 14, Hesston 0. Back after this 30-second timeout.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
The Vikings play here.
And back at Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field. Well, that fired up the homecoming crowd because how many play?
Three plays, 61 yards.
As the Vikings put a dagger in the heart of the Hesston Swathers to take a 14-0 lead after just before halftime, after they deny Hesston scoring there earlier, and then they get the ball back, and just an amazing job by our defensive group tonight.
Raleigh Wilson out here to kick off this time as Kennedy's still out of the game.
Wilson out there to kick it off. High end over end kick is going to be taken by the Swathers at the 15, 20, 25, right up the middle, and trying to get away from Viking tacklers. The first one, Jake Lucas and Lane Schrog tripping up the return man. Is that Arnold again, or was that somebody else? Taves or Voigt?
Who was it?
Jason, say it again.
Brady Cox.
Cox was a return man. So the Vikings have just 5.8 seconds to see if their defense can hold what they've done for the first 23 minutes and 55 seconds. We'll see if Hesston will be content to take a knee or if they're going to try to throw a bomb. The Vikings look like they think they're going to try to go for something deep because they got a couple of extra defensive backs in. 3 receivers, been there normal. They put 2 receivers to the far side, 3 to the near side. Cox is under trouble, and Conrad Peterson's going to sack him. Conrad Peterson finally gets the sack back there as he's been a nemesis for the Swathers all night. And the half ends on a Conrad Peterson sack. Our score at halftime, Smoky Valley 14, Hesston 0. We'll be back to wrap up this first half for you after this timeout.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day
Conrad's
headquarters.
a beast.
Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu.
The Wildfires would like to thank all the sponsors who helped us win camp this year. They are American Family Insurance, Florida Bold Agency, Anderson Body Shop, Banning Chiropractic, Stanley Hair Studio, Harry Mullery, Kevin and Marcy Timmelsberger, Lindsborg Tropical Snow, Money Chevrolet, Next Level Dance, Patricia Quinn, PB&J, People Drink and Trust, Scott's Hometown Foods, and Smoky Hill Vineyards and Wineries. The Wildfires will be dancing tonight to Top 40 Mix. The Wildfires are Captain Taylor Barnes, Captain Elena McMillan, Clarissa Timmelsberger, Terrence Elliott, Whitney McElroy, Grayson Bowers, Braden DeSalt, Riley Evers, and Emma Litt. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. You're in my blood. Great job, Wildfires. And now if we could direct your attention to the track. Lynchburg has been no stranger to tennis, and tonight, as a continued legacy for that tradition of decades of excellence, we would like to recognize one of our own as the most respected and successful tennis coaches in the state of Kansas. Coach John Bella commenced his coaching career in tennis at Smoky Valley High School in 1988 as an assistant to Darrell Talbot. Coach Bella took over as the head coach in 1991 and has spent the last 27 years in that position, while also spending 8 of those years as girls tennis coach. During his 3 decades of coaching, he has accumulated the following team achievements: 3 4A state team championship titles as assistant coach, 4 4A state team championship titles as head coach, 3 4A state team runner-up titles as head coach, and 5 4A state team third place awards as head coach. In addition to team achievements, Coach Bella has coached 80 boys state medalists and 10 girls state medalists. Within the multitude of those medalists, he and his players have ventured to postseason play to capture the following achievements: 3 state doubles championship titles, 4 state doubles runner-up titles, 4 state singles championship titles, and 1 state singles runner-up title. Coach Bella's coaching achievements have not gone unnoticed for the performance of his tennis team during the past 3 decades. He has been awarded 4A Coach of the Year 5 times, Coach of the Year in all divisions in 2010, and Coach of the Year National Federation of Coaches in 2011. Most recently, Coach Bella has been voted the 4A Tennis Coach of the Year for this year. All of these accolades have led him to be recognized as a true leader of tennis in the state of Kansas. Of course, the humility of Coach Bella will speak in the following words he wanted us to hear. This award is a reflection of all the former and present players and coaches at Smoky Valley. I've been blessed to have had the opportunity to have played and coached with a Hall of Fame coach, Ron Dalston. And I coached with Darrell Talbot, who coached 4 state team championships in a row. I just want to thank all my former and present coaches and players, as well as their families, for keeping the tennis tradition alive. We, of course, would like to take this time tonight to thank Coach Bella for his continued, unrelenting commitment to our community, our tennis program, and to the players he has fostered to perpetuate a culture of greatness that extends far beyond the tennis courts on our Smoky Valley campus. Thank you, Coach John Bella, and congratulations on your most recent award. Your work has not gone unnoticed. And now we welcome to the field the Smoky Valley cheerleaders. They are Michaela Outland, Lexi Patterson, Kylie Walker, Shaylee Anderson, Helena Nader, Mackenzie Burks, Annalise Jones, and Harley Watkins. They will be performing a routine to UCA's Tom Ford.
Coming up, coming down, rock queen, put your head to the crown. Numbers don't lie, check the scoreboard. I'm my dog, sometimes I feel the little days on my feet, days on my feet, days on my feet. So do my dog, so get like me.
Great job, cheerleaders! Let's give them a hand! And now we have your raffle winners for the wildlife photo. And you may go find Steve Shugren down by the ticket booth. Our winner of the wildlife photo is Tom Hesston. Our winner of the wildlife print by Chip Brock is Mike O'Leary. For the Green Mountain Girl, she's going to be a happy lady.
Probably give my vote tonight to Lane Schrog.
I think I'll concur because Lane has been an important factor. He's also been in on a couple of defensive plays on passing on from his corner position. So Lane Schrog will be our impact performance of the first half. Take our first time out, talk a little bit about some scores around the area, and in a little bit we'll have Kira Hesston talking about her coach out there, Coach John Bella, just getting the 4A Coach of the Year last year, and what a deserving honor that was for John. We'll take a halftime break and be back right after this.
Area athletes and even weekend warriors have a big home field advantage.
Dr. Rosebra is accepting new patients for all members of your family. Well child care and health care management for acute and chronic conditions. Call the clinic for an appointment at 785-227-3371. Visit lindsborghospital.org for more information. Celebrating 75 years in 2019, we are your partner in healthcare.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
And welcome back to Smoky Valley football with the Vikings leading 14-0 at halftime. We got some results from cross country southeast of Saline. Girls took first place as a team. Individual honors went to Elise Peterson 5th, Keisha Peterson 8th, Gracie Lambert 9th, Gracie Lott 13th, Lydia Peterson 32nd, Savannah Phillips 35th, and for the JV, Nevada Asherson third place, and Zoe Grace 6th place. For the boys, they took third place as a team. Ryan Helene won it with a time of 17:39. Josh Peterson third, Stephen Peterson 14th, Ty Miller 21st, Lucas Apel 31st, Garrett Huffman 43rd, Logan Brodenheimer 4th in JV, Trayton Miller 44th in JV, and in 8th place, Aiden Rapogli and Jonathan Puppo 10th, Justin Gardner 11th, and Cole Brumbaugh 15th, Caden Kibler 16th, and those were JV times. And then volleyball. There was some great Viking volleyball at the Hoysen Triangular. Smoky Valley prevailed over Clay Center 25-21. They lost 17-25, but then won the third match 25-21 and took a loss against Hoisington 16-25 and 25-27. And in the Clay Center match, Bree Franklin led in blocking with 6 solo blocks. Abby Rose led in defense with 6 digs. And against Hoisington, Emmy Riles led the team in assists with a total of 22. So good results for those. Some middle school results from the southeast of Saline. Trevor Jones in the 8th grade took 10th. He got a medal. Samuel Peterson took 12th for the 7th grade boys. He got a medal. 8th grade girls, Olivia Binkson, she's my cousin or my nephew's daughter, Olivia. She took 7th place. And in the 7th grade girls, Kinsey Helene took 5th. And then in tennis, I got some tennis results here. JV tennis meet the other night. 2nd and 3rd, the girls took 2nd and 3rd. Riley Allstedt finished 3rd in number 1 singles. Avery Dower 4th. Camelia Wright finished 2nd at number 2 singles, and Logan Spencer finished 3rd at number 2 singles. Annika Peterson and Isabel Ordonez 2nd in number 1 doubles, and Gracie Gaskell and Elena McMillan finished 3rd at number 1 doubles. Chloe Wolf and Emily Jones finished 1st at number 2 doubles, and Mackenzie Holcomb and Ahuna Golden finished 2nd in number 2 doubles. And then for the varsity, we got one of the senior players here. Kira Hesston is joining us to tell us all about Smoky Valley varsity tennis. And what a congratulations to your coach out there for a Coach of the Year. Is he pretty easy to get along with, or is he pretty hard on you?
Honestly, for me, for having him so long, the bond we have, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just kind of like a daughter and father bond. I mean, I walk onto the court and everything just fades away with all the problems. And it's just so easy to play when he's watching because, you know, if I'm doing something wrong, he's going to tell me I'm doing it wrong. But if I'm doing something right, he's also going to reward me for it. And it's just so relaxing to be out there.
Well, you've had a lot of success this year. You've won a couple of tournaments, and you've placed 2nd or 3rd in a couple of tournaments. Tell me about your season so far.
Honestly, at the start of the season, my one focus was just to play how I know how to play. You know, I have a lot of strengths, but then again, I have a lot of weaknesses. But my one goal was to finish strong with being in varsity for the last 4 years, and I'm right now doing pretty good at that.
Well, you are. You're doing excellent. Did you have a first place in the first meet at Hesston? So you had a number 1
Yes,
finish?
yes. I placed first there.
And then you just completed one at Ellsworth where you had a first place finish? Yep. And then what was the other? You've had a couple more. You've had a 2nd and a...
I had a 2nd, and then I took first back at Ellsworth last week, too.
Yeah, so congratulations. And the team as a whole has been doing good. There's always a lot of good competition in girls tennis, and with Hesston, another one of our rivals in tennis, being good each and every year. How have you matched up against them so far this year?
You know, a lot better than I'd say we have in the past years. We have a very strong team, and we all get along very well, which also helps us. I think we went there this Tuesday, and we actually took first, which is nice. And that was the first time this season that we beat Hesston at a tournament. It's always placing 2nd with them, and we finally took it. I think we won, Coach Bella said, by 2 points, which was very lucky.
Tell me, who are your 2 top singles players, and who are your 2 top doubles teams?
Right now, I'm number 1 singles, and then we have Isabel Wright, who, you know, she's really far behind, or really close behind me. Sorry about that, Isabel. She really puts in the effort during practice, and that's really showing. And then we have Carrick Elliott and Rachel Yenny, which they're honestly going to do very well, I think. Mm-hmm. They've put in a lot of effort, too, and, you know, I've talked to Carrick, and I get along with Rachel, too, and we'll go out there and hit after practice or during the weekends. And then we have Lana and Morgan.
Lana Clark
and Morgan Bowles. They're 2nd, and, you know, the whole team, we're just all, you know, the same level. It's kind of neat to watch because there's no one that really outpowers the other, which is very nice.
You got a cohesive team. In other words, you get along very good.
Yes,
and
very.
What's coming up? How soon? The regionals come up pretty quick now. And
actually, varsity-wise, we're done with the season. We have league next week, and then it's regionals and state. So we have 3 meets left, and then we're done.
Well, it's been a successful season for you. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming and joining us and saying a few words. And was your choice for King and Queen the ones that won tonight?
Actually, it was.
Good. Well, that's always fun. And the homecoming activities this afternoon, how fun was that to take part in all that?
Honestly, I kind of made me emotional to think that it's my last one, honestly.
You're getting old, girl.
I know. I'm done after this, but it was very neat to watch. I always like when the whole entire town comes together. I mean,
Yeah, it's a fun event. Well, that's Kira Haxton, and that's a little bit about Smoky Valley tennis. We'll take our final timeout, a 1-minute timeout. We'll have the kickoff of the second half. You're listening to Smoky Valley football.
Lindsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home. Join the Lindsborg Hospital Auxiliary at their fall fundraiser on Wednesday, September 12th. Homemade sloppy joes with all the trimmings for a free will donation will support the auxiliary's hospital projects. You'll find a hot lunch, or you can make joes to go on Wednesday, September 12th from 11 to 1:30 at the Trinity United Methodist Church. You can even join the hospital auxiliary for just $10 a year. Bring your appetite, bring a friend, and we'll see you there.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lindsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
Time scores from our Rocking M media stations. El Saline over Sedgwick 13-7 at halftime. Salina Central up big over Hutch 35-6, and Mac 62-6 over Abilene. So they're getting romped on up at McPherson. Abilene really taking it in the shorts. Vikings ready to kick off. Hesston won the toss and deferred, so they get the first possession of the quarter. Vikings lead at 14-0. And Raleigh Wilson approaches the ball. It's a line drive kick. It's going to come down and bounce, and he's down. Oh, no, they're going to let's say he got up. He was down on a knee and picked the ball up, but he must have taken his knee up before he got down. And the Vikings make the tackle about the 30-yard line, but I thought he was still down when he picked the ball up.
Yeah, I think the only thing they might have seen there is that he didn't actually have possession of the ball while his knee was down. It looked like the ball just kind of stopped there, and I think he was able to get back up. It was definitely a close play.
Wow.
But they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt there, and he's able to move the ball out about another, 17 yards from where he had it?
Close to 20. It was close to the 15-yard line.
Yep.
First and 10, Hesston ball at the 33-yard line. See what they do. The Viking D was just outstanding, pitching a shutout here in the first half. Parker Roth and a couple of other receivers come out near to the near side, one receiver to the far side. Cox is in that pistol formation between the tailback and the center, dropping back to pass, looking down the middle, still looking now. He's flushed out of the pocket, going deep down the middle and over the head of and behind the intended receiver, Taves. So it's second down and 10.
Haven't seen a Hesston team like this that has abandoned the run quite as much.
Oh, I know.
They have thrown the ball a lot tonight. And, of course, being down 14-0 at this point, they've got to get something going. But it's definitely been their best avenue this evening.
Same formation, three receivers near side, one to the far side. Schrog over on defense on the far side. Here's a pass out on the flat to Roth, and he's going to be driven down by Elliott and Winholtz after a gain of about 6, maybe 7 on the play. You give it to your stud athlete out of the short pass in the backfield, and you still only get 6 yards.
You give it to your stud athlete any way you can give it to your stud athlete, and he hasn't been able to do a lot from the backfield. So you're right, they spread him out wide, hit him on a little screen, and like you said, the Vikings pursue extremely well to keep it to 6.
Third down and 4 for the Swathers. Their first possession score is still 14-0 Vikings with the lead, just underway in the third quarter. It's going to be a little option play pitched back to Arnold, and he's going to be first down yardage. Leans forward. Carson Winholtz couldn't quite get the grab on the ankles to trip him up short of the first down. So Hesston does get a first down, albeit I guess it was a run, but it was more of an option, little toss sweep. But they get the chains to move. They're on their first possession, first and 10 at the Viking 45-yard line. 3 receivers far side, 1 to the near side. Cox is going to go a quick pass in the flat, caught across midfield and down to the 48-yard line goes number 11. That is Eilert. And he'll pick up, he comes up limping after the play, though. And now somebody comes in for him as he goes off to the sideline.
Some more quick scores from around the state. Holcomb 7-6 over Nickerson at the half. Central Plains 24-0 over Little River. Halstead 44-0 over Rock Creek. And Buhler 15-14 over Mulvane. Campus 8-7 over South. That score was early.
Man in motion to the near side. Here comes a run to the near side. Roth, and great play by Blake Hebel. Couldn't quite finish it off. Coming to finish it off was Tim Lambert right at the first down sticks. It's going to be across the yard line and a first down, Swathers. So they give it to the man, Parker Roth. He's the third receiver from the outside, so he's closest to the tackle in that three-man set, and he just came to the near side, and they're going to ride that athlete as much as they can, and it's proven successful here so far in the start of the third quarter. Second first down for the Swathers in this possession. Cox in that pistol formation. Going to drop back to pass. Now we got a flag, and it's going to be motion on the Swathers. So first and 10 now goes to first and 15. Seemed like a lot of penalties in that first half, but it turned out to be, I believe you said 3 each is all.
I think they just happened at really inopportune times for both teams. You know, some of our early hold or our early hold happened and pushed us back. Same thing for Hesston. It just seemed like they were kind of tough times to have penalties.
Hillsborough leading Sacred Heart. I don't know if you mentioned that one, 33-17 also at half. Here's another pass in the flat to Roth. He's got a little room. He's got first down. No, that was a first take. He gets back the 5-yard penalty and then gets down to the 40-yard line. So a pickup of about 10 on the play. Second down and 5 for the Swathers.
Another one hit him there in the flat. He was able to pull up to that far side of the field. Since they're throwing it to him behind the line, they can engage some blockers early, and they've been able to get at least the front wave of the Vikings blocked right at the beginning of that pass play, and then hopefully get him to the next level and see what he can do.
They switch to the side, get into the near side. Here, Cameron Cox is going to keep it. He's really weaving in and out of Viking tacklers. Wampler and Adams had him back near the line of scrimmage, but he spun and churned and got a couple more yards. He got down to its third down and 1 now for the Swathers at the Viking 36-yard line.
Yeah, Lane Schrog was able to finally get a hold of him and keep him from getting that first down, at least setting up a chance for the Vikings to maybe get a stop here and force a fourth down play, which Hesston was unsuccessful with those in the first half.
3 receivers near side. Here's a handoff to Arnold. Yeah, good defense, Vikings. Arnold loses a yard on the play. It's going to be fourth down and 2 as they came blitzing in. That was Adams and Conrad Peterson and Wampler, I believe, coming in on that play.
Exactly what we just said. Schrog is able to hold him up 1 yard shy, and now the Vikings have pushed him back another yard. So now it's 4th and 2. So being able to take care of Cox on that previous play sets up a difficult fourth down play for Hesston.
Another fourth down for the Swathers. Here's a little short pass in the flat. Caught. Boy, he went down with Schrog draped all over the back of him as the ball came in there. And they said patch was complete to number 11, Eilert. That was just a quick little slant and a stop, and Cox threw it right where nobody else could get it. He went down. He was actually down before the ball got there, but he was going down to cradle the ball and make sure he caught it. So great conversion on fourth down. Cox under trouble in the backfield. He gets out of trouble and gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be second down and 10. He was kind of faking the flat, going deep, but that deep coverage by Lane Schrog was good, and he had to eat the ball and try to get something out of it, and the Vikings held him to no gain.
Yeah, he was under duress again from Conrad Peterson in the backfield. He turned to make that pump fake, looked down, and there's Conrad right on the ground, kind of crawling at him, so he had to do something with it quickly, so he tucked it and ran.
Roth in motion to the far side. Here comes Arnold. No, it's a toss pitch to Roth on the outside, and he bangs into Tim Lambert. Tim Lambert goes backwards, but a host of other Vikings, including Lane Schrog and Blake Hebel and Matt Adams over there, to get the gain only 1 yard by Roth. It's third down and 9.
Such a strong player. You can tell what he brings to this team and what his loss over the course of the first 3 games has been. His running style is so powerful. The Vikings, of course, standing in there with great pursuit, but he is a good runner.
Third and long for the Swathers, looking on the pass down the field, and good defense by Lane Schrog. He intercepts it. I think he intercepted it. They haven't signaled yet. It is a catch, and the Vikings get an interception. I think it's Matt Adams.
No, I think it was number 4 there. I think that was Andrew Peters.
Well, we'll get to see a replay of it, but the ball was tipped around. I thought there was a lot of contact by Lane Schrog early. I thought the official was going to reach for the flag, but the ball ended up popping out. And just like Hesston completed one on the sideline over there with somebody on the ground, I think the Viking might have caught that on the ground. Lane Schrock pointing, and
yeah, it was Andrew Peters that got underneath it. It was close. Hard to tell on the close-up, but being a Viking fan, we'll call that an interception either way.
The Vikings have it 1st and 10 after turning the Swathers away again, this time on the interception. Tim Lambert trying to get to the outside. Good block by Cord Elliott, and Parker Roth just lays the wood on Tim Lambert. That's the type of athlete he is. Lambert's slow to get up, but he'll get back up there and compete well. But Parker Roth had an angle, had speed, and he let Tim Lambert have it.
That was a heck of a hit. You heard a collective sigh on this Smoky Valley side when he got hit on that play. It looked like he had a nice play to the edge, and Roth just came out of nowhere and just unloads on him, decleats him over here on the sideline. Lambert hops up. He's going to take a little breather here to catch his breath, but that was a heck of a shot.
Yeah, and that was a heck of a block by Court Elliott, too, leading the way to get that 9.5, almost 10 yards. I think they're going to decide if they're going to measure or not. They've stopped the clock, and they're going to look at it. But the Viking defense, again, they've held them on 3 out of 4 fourth down attempts, and now they come up with a big interception by Peters, and they will take a measurement here. So timeout on the field for a measurement. We'll keep it right here as they're going to go bring the chains all the way. Well, now they're going to measure it after they respotted it on the hash mark. That's kind of unusual. I don't know any of this officiating crew, because I can't say that I know who they are or what they're doing.
What a great job by the Viking defense. That's 3 different possessions now where Hesston has moved the ball more effectively than they had any times earlier. And all 3 of those times, we've been able to cut them short. And again, when you're playing such a close game right now, 14-0 Vikings with 6:58 to play in the third, getting those stops is tremendous. And the defense has been able to step up and do that.
Oh, absolutely. Tremendous defense tonight. We'll have to give an award for player of the game, but it may be players of the game before we're done. I formation behind Shrug, drops the ball, tries to make lemonade out of lemons, and he's going to get a first down. Wow, Lane is so quick at retrieving that ball. It was a snap, mishandled a snap between him and John Burks, and he needed a half a yard. He got 2. Unbelievable. So first down, Smoky Valley. After the turnover, they get the first down. Tim Lambert back in the game at tailback. Got the little loose cobwebs to refocus a little bit. Wide receiver is Carson Byers to the far side. Tight end Blake Hebel on the near side. Front 4+1 doing a good job. There's Elliott crashing over the 30-yard line and up to the 32 or 33-yard line. See where they spotted it. Looks like it's going to be at the 32. A gain of 6.
Again, Parker Roth in on that tackle. We've said his name a lot defensively tonight. He covers a lot of ground for them, but another quick hitter up the middle by Court Elliott, and you love it when you can pick up 5 or 6 yards right there on that dive.
And he did lead at halftime, so he's a talented player. Peters, wide receiver to the near side. I formation behind Lane Shrug. Handed off to Elliott, pounding his way through. He's going to be first down yardage across the 35, 36, 37-yard line before they finally untangle everybody. Another Viking first down. This drive started at where? After the Peters interception, the 20, inside the 20, wasn't it? 18-yard line?
Yeah, about 13-yard line. So they've moved that ball all the way out to the 27 or 37. Excuse me. We're getting all of our numbers confused tonight. It's about 24 yards gained so far on this drive.
Raleigh Wilson in as flanker to the far side. I formation behind Lane Shrug. Vikings leading 14-0. Here comes Elliott again across the 40 up to the near the 41-yard line. He'll get 3, maybe 4 on that hard yard play. Like Coach Lambert said early in the year, he certainly runs behind his shoulder pads, and he's making those Hesston tacklers pay for tackling him.
Yeah, doing a nice job again, hitting those dives. I think we can expect to see a Lambert off the edge here anytime soon.
14-0. Vikings have the lead, looking to maintain this first possession of the third quarter. Hesston took it and drove it before turning it over on the interception. Vikings with their first possession. Here comes Lambert. He's going up the middle. He gets upended. Somebody went down there low. Parker Roth again going down low. And there's a Hesston player slow to get up in the backfield, in the back edge back there. He's really slow to get up. He finally gets up on his own power, but he's under duress. And they're going to call a timeout and let him get across. Number 24, the injured player, that's Bollinger. We've called his name a number of times on their offensive possession.
I think that's Landon Spencer back there, number 24.
Again, we'll thank our sponsors, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, C&L Heating and Cooling, People's Bank and Trust, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farmers State Bank, Arn Reinert CPA, Smoky Valley Booster Club, Gallant Tire and Auto, Phoenix Restoration, Lindbergh Family Dental Care, Viking Auto, Scott's, Bank of Tescott, Colmari for all your Smoky Valley real estate needs, and Dr. Darrell Loader. Thank them for helping us with our portion the rest of the season, or at least next week. We're on our way to Clay Center and then back home. Got the calendar here somewhere. I got the schedule. No, that's the wrong sheet. Here it is. Back home after that against Chapman. So that'll be right now. Chapman is at 3-0. We're at 3-0. So we'll have another pivotal contest with Chapman on the first Friday in October. And then to follow that up with another home game against Halstead before taking the road to Rock Creek. And then the top 4 teams out of each 6-team district. Right now, the top 4 teams are us and Chapman at 3-0, Hesston and Halstead at 2-1. So the top 4 teams will place off 1 against 4. Teams 5 and 6 will host. If you're 5, you'll host a team from the other team, and that will be your final game of the year. So a little bit different format, brand new, and this week is an important week. What do you got?
Yeah, right now we've got the Chapman Irish up 14-0 on Clay Center, so they're continuing to move in that direction as well. So looks like they will probably be 4-0 again today, and hopefully the Vikings can come away with this one and be the same point as we take on Clay Center next week.
I formation behind Schrog. Here comes Tim Lambert in the middle. He gets to near midfield. First down yardage run by Tim Lambert. Again, 1 tackle away from taking it all the way. Again, we want to thank the listeners, thank the Smoky Valley Athletic Foundation for helping to sponsor getting this broadcast to Bethany Home. We hope you are enjoying this broadcast at Bethany Home, and we'll hope to have more games during the year. But the Vikings lead at 14-0. Raleigh Wilson, the flanker to the right side, far side, and I formation behind quarterback Lane Schrog. Oh, there's a little jump and a hiccup by Mr. Wampers. Hits himself in the chest, saying, my bad. 5-yard step off from midfield back to the 45-yard line of the Vikings.
Game 4, I don't remember a lot of those. Our line has done such a great job not committing penalties, not having false starts. That's a rarity at this point in time for those guys, and it's been something that we've been able to respond and come back with today. To this point, anytime we've had a penalty, to be able to make that up. And so 1st and 15 for the Vikings.
And they got to hurry now as Pywell comes in with a play, and they change the play. They hustle up to the line of scrimmage 5 seconds before the start to play. Here comes Lambert trying the outside. Here comes Lambert going up near midfield, so he gets the 5 yards back from the penalty. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. Maybe 11. They didn't quite give him midfield there. So 2nd down and 11 for Smoky Valley right at midfield. 3:29 and counting left to go, 3rd quarter. Hesston had 1 possession. We've had 1 possession in this half, or this quarter, right?
That is correct.
Wow. Been a low possession time consuming drives on both teams. Flanker the near side, Wilson. Here's a turn and a handoff again to Lambert, trying to get outside. He's got some room. Great block by Cord Elliott, and Lambert gets run out of bounds by the last Hesston Swather to keep him from going all the way. But Elliott, again, with a big block in the open territory. Did an excellent job of getting out there. When he fakes up maybe he didn't fake up the middle that time. I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah, I think that was more of a lead across the outside, kind of a blast type element. And Court just led him right on until he got to the corner, took the corner out, and then the safety had to finish off Tim there at the 1st down marker.
It was close to a block in the back by Elliott, but he kind of got a shoulder pad before he ran. Here comes Cord Elliott blasting up the middle. He'll get nearly 7 or 8 yards on that carry. So the Viking front 4+1 are starting to wear down the front group of the Hesston Swathers.
Yeah, I think the most disappointing part for Hesston is the drives that they've had. They've come away with nothing. You're looking at that scoreboard still thinking that you've had done some pretty good things here in these in this third quarter and the second quarter, and you haven't come away with any points. And so you're still looking at that 14-0 deficit. Now the Vikings continue to pound and pound and pound. And if you've noticed, the last 6 or 7 plays, we've been tight with everything and really pounding away at the middle.
Here comes Ellie. No, Schrog's going to keep it himself, try to get outside. He's got some room. He's in the 20, 15, 10, inside the 10-yard before he's finally taken down. But Lane Schrog, he fakes me out a couple of times, ends up keeping the ball, and he gets himself and the Viking team in the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Low rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service. For everywhere you are, say goodbye to being a number and say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Yeah, fakes that dive right up the middle, gets to the edge, made one guy miss, and then was able to actually be deceptive enough to get away from the next block or the next tackler down the field and make 2 guys have to finish him off at the last second.
1st and 10, Smoky Valley, or 1st and goal, Smoky Valley, inside the 10-yard line. Now we got a stoppage of play. Somebody from Hesston has to go out. That's kind of unusual. They stopped. It must be an equipment issue because they wouldn't necessarily allow a substitution like that. Did you see anything called like a...
Yeah, I think somebody how they removed him. I think it might have been similar to what happened earlier in the game with John Burks, when he came out with the snap issue on his helmet too. Probably. So
1st and goal again for the Vikings. Just 1:50 left before the end of the third quarter. Here comes Tim Lambert trying the outside. He's going to get team tackled about the 6 or 7 yard line. He'll get a couple of yards gain. 2nd down and goal. They stayed home. The corner and the linebacker on the outside, or the safety, one or the other, stayed home. They didn't take the Court Elliott fake in the middle, and they got some room and got the stop for the Swathers. 2nd down and goal from the 7. 1:20 left to go before the end of the quarter. Each team has had a possession in this quarter. The Swathers got turned away on the interception. Can the Vikings finish this drive? Double tight I formation. Here comes Court Elliott up the middle, tiptoeing inside the 5-yard line. Just inside the 5. It's going to be 3rd and goal from just inside the 5-yard line. The back edge of the football touching the 5-yard line. So it's 4.5 yards to go till pay dirt. 3rd down, 50 seconds and counting to go here in the third quarter. What will the Vikings do? Highwell coming in with the play call. Dax Hop on his way out. Raleigh Wilson, the flanker. I formation behind Schrog. They got to hurry up. Only 5 seconds left in the play clock. Here comes Lambert trying to dodging, tiptoeing, and good possession in there defensively by the Swathers. They're going to have it 4th and goal now for the Vikings. And the Vikings can wait and decide what they want to do in the fourth quarter. The time will run out before the quarter. So the quarter ends with neither team able to score, both teams having long drives, but the score remains 14-0, and we'll be back with quarter number 4 right after this.
Big Six is proud to support Salina and the surrounding area because your community is our community. Stop in and secure a high-interest CD today at one of our 2 Salina locations, 1900 South Ohio or 2101 East Crawford. Bank 6 is a member FDIC and a division of the Plains State Bank.
At State Farm, when home and auto work together as a team, you score time and money.
Yards here so far
in this quarter, and they've yet to give up the ball, but this will be it is 4th down and goal now to start the fourth quarter for the Vikings. So we'll see what they can do. My guess is they'll spread it out and try to get Lane Schrog out in the open, try to get somebody in the backfield and throw a pass. But we'll see what they come up with here as they come out high-fiving each other on the long run down from near the 30-yard line where they were huddling after the quarter to the goal line on the south end. The Vikings going to try to score on the goal line of the south end of the stadium here. The play ready for play clock has started. And the Vikings send Carson Byers wide out to the far side. They'll go double tight I formation behind Lane Schrog. Lane's going to look for the quick pass over the middle to Blake Hebel. Oh, touchdown, Smoky Valley. That little tight end release has been there every time. And last week down at Nickerson, Lane overthrew it. Blake Hebel was wide open, streaking down the middle of the field. That time there wasn't anybody within 5 yards of Blake Hebel.
Yeah, great drive of the Vikings. 14 plays, 87 yards, and finished off there by a beautiful little play action. Quick hitter to Hebel. That's twice today that Hesston's kind of lost sight of the ball and missed out on a pass play that results in touchdowns for the Vikings. And the Vikings go up 20-0 as they attempt the two-point conversion.
11:57, just 3 seconds, and the two-point conversion is good. And our score with 11:57 left to go in the fourth quarter now. Vikings 22, Hesston 0. Back right after this.
There are few things more important in banking than partnering with people you know. At Bank 6, they pride themselves on being community-driven and helping customers make the best decisions with their finances. Whether it's a personal account or business loan, Bank 6 is there for you. Come see how you can secure a high-interest CD today and put the power of compounding to work. Bank 6 with 2 locations.
7 yards, culminated in a Lane Schrog to Blake Hebel 4-yard touchdown pass coming on the first play of the fourth quarter, facing a 4th and goal. And what a great call. I said I thought it was going to be a pass, but I even never suspected that one. I thought it'd be a rollout of some kind. Great call by the coaching staff.
Well, we had Jason's keys to victory before the game. Defensively, he said we needed to contain Parker Roth. He's had 52 yards receiving and 14 yards rushing. The other thing offensively was continue the balanced ground attack, and 107 yards for Lambert, 55 for Schrog, 45 for Elliott. And then who would have guessed 4 for 7 passing, 96 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Lane Schrog tonight.
Yeah, he's been a very good asset tonight. Ball bouncing on the ground, picked up at the 25-yard line by Arnold, I believe. And he'll get up to the 32, 33-yard line, see where they spot it. And they'll have their second possession of the second half, trailing now 22-0. But it's been a dire disappointment for the Swathers, who've been knocking at the door, seeming like, at the Viking defense, just bending but not breaking.
Yeah, the last 7 quarters for Hesston right now, you're looking at 77-0. I don't know the last time you could have said that you know, over a 7-quarter span, you would have seen those guys not score more points than that.
Vikings with 3 down linemen now on the defensive front. They brought another receiver in. They put 2 receivers each way for the Swathers. Cox dropping back to pass, going to throw in the flat, caught, and quickly knocked down. Good tackle there by somebody for the Vikings. I can't see the number all the way across the field, but I think it's Carson Winholtz.
Yeah, I think it was Winholtz. Brady Cox on the catch, I think, number 28. And a good tackle in the open field there by Winholtz.
But that's a great play for 2 yards. I mean, you spread them out, and our defense is just coming up quickly. They know they're going to pass. They're keeping them in front and then making quick contact after the completion. So it's basically just a short run play. 2 receivers each way. Arnold in the backfield with Cox. Is Parker Roth even out there? I don't think he is. Cox looking down, now going to go fake deep. Carson Winholtz in great position again, and he intercepts it at the 28-yard line, up to the 40, 45 near midfield, still going, and then going out of bounds near the 40. Carson Winholtz was step for step with the intended receiver on the far side, and he just reached up at the last minute and picked it off. Another Viking interception.
Yeah, you pointed out Parker Roth. I noticed on the previous possession, when we were down on the far end in the third, he had a tackle down there and looked like he was roughed up just a little bit. Great play here. Carson Windholtz picks that off right around the 33-yard line of the Vikings, and then he's able to run it back down here to the 40. Perfect position. Again, it was that double move they tried to open that up, and he was right there, spot on, stride for stride, able to get the interception. Our defensive backfield is so fast. It's very difficult to get those deep plays over us for any type of a game.
Campus and the South still locked up in a good one up there in Wichita. 8-7 Campus over South right now. And Salina Central just taking it all over Hutchinson tonight. They were up quite a bit. I'll get that score for you in just a minute. Schrog dropping back to pass, looking down the middle. Raleigh Wilson wide open and almost throws an interception. He underthrew that one. Lane Schrog mad at himself because Raleigh Wilson was breaking wide open from that flanker position. Mac 62-6 over Abilene. I had that score earlier. That Salina Central score. See if I can. 35-6 was a halftime score. Salina Central under Smoky Valley grad Mark Sambo really starting to turn things around up there. That should have been intercepted.
That ball just did not come out nearly the way Lane wanted it because he did have Wilson wide open in the seam.
Double tight flanker near side. Here comes Elliott pounding it up the middle and then kicking it toward the outside. He'll get 7, maybe 8 yards on the carry. Court Elliott just gets the difficult, hard, bruising yards for Smoky Valley.
Go ahead.
He gets a little bit of a gap, and then he kicked that one out to the outside, and he got almost 8 yards on that carry.
They've been on defense a lot tonight. The Vikings have had the ball for quite a number of minutes. It's been very difficult, and now you're starting to see that wearing down of that front four and then get into the second and third wave.
Here comes Elliott again, pounding it up the middle. Not quite enough for first down yardage. It's going to be 3rd and 1, just outside of the 30-yard line. They got to get to the 30, and it's about a football length to get a first down. Oh, it's 4th down. My bad. 4th down and short for the Vikings. I missed a play there somewhere.
They sneak them in on you sometimes.
The Vikings come to the line of scrimmage, double tight. Raleigh Wilson, the flanker on the near side. I formation behind Lane Schrog. Defense for Hesston creeping into the box. Toss to get Lambert outside. He's got first down yardage and not much more. Gets down to about the 29-yard line. So he needed a half a yard. He got a yard and a half. So that looked like that had big play potential, but give credit for Blake Martin and their safety vote out there to make that play not a bigger play than it turned out to be.
Coming into the night, Tim Lambert needed 142 yards rushing to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark for his career. He's 33 yards shy of that right now, so he's had a nice night, over 100 yards rushing, and a chance to hit that 1,000-yard mark yet this evening or into next week.
22-0 Vikings lead, looking to add a little bit more. Hand it off again to Lambert. Lambert gets second effort and gets down to the 25, maybe 24-yard line. Gets just across the nose of the football, just across the 25. Pickup of 4 on the play. Good strong running by by Tim Lambert.
Looking over that far side, I see Parker Roth over there along the sideline. Looks like they're checking out possibly a shoulder, something like that. He's, just coming back from an injury as well, so it's difficult to speculate, but don't think we'll see him back tonight with the score being what it is.
Here comes old ball loose. Lane Schrog misses the handoff. He pulled it out of the hands of Court Elliott and trying to get it to Lambert, and the ball came loose, but Lane pounced on it. He was the leader on that hit that got Tim Lambert here at early in that first drive of the half for the Vikings, and that may be a telling effort because that was you mentioned how the crowd did on that hit. That may have been the hit that triggered that little injury, but he stayed in the game for a while after that, but that may have been the hit because that was a stout hit.
And he's had to make so many hits. The Vikings are pretty bruising when they run, so he's done a lot of work tonight.
3rd down and 6 for Smoky Valley. Here comes Tim Lambert trying to get outside. Is that a horse collar tackle? Yes, it was. Blake Martin, we mentioned that long arms and that 6'5" frame, but he grabbed a hold of the back of Tim Lambert's jersey and reached him down from behind. And that'll be a 15-yarder on Hesston, and that that hurts, but he did all he could. I mean, that's one of the things that you get. It's a new penalty, relatively new in the last 4 or 5 years, but I think it's a very good penalty because that can hurt somebody.
Yeah, it's a bang-bang play. You know, he's engaged there with a blocker as he reaches out, but it looks like he clearly gets him up inside the shoulder pad. You know, again, a young man just reaching out, trying to get whatever he can get. You know, when you have a chance to catch Tim Lambert, you want to catch him any way you can, because if you don't, you're going to be in trouble. And the Vikings now move inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Lane Schrog on the keeper trying to get around the left end, and jumping on his back is number 22, Arnold. And Lane Schrog gets a yard and a half on that carry. That looked like it had more potential, but somebody made a great play for the Swathers. So second down, and we'll call it 8. 7.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Vikings leading 22-0. Looking for more inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Flanker on the near side is Raleigh Wilson. Tight end Dax Hop on this side. Tight end Blake Hebel on the other side. Schrog looking now, tosses to Lambert near side, trying to get out there. He gets a block from Elliott and gets down near the 10-yard line. It'll pick up of about 4 on the play. It'll be third down and 5.
Yeah, that last tackle was made by Nick Arnold for Hesston, their freshman. And that last tackle was made by his older brother. That one is Max Arnold. He's the junior on the team as well. So a couple of Arnolds out there playing tonight for Hesston. It'll be third and about, what'd you say, 5, 6?
5. I called it 5. It looks closer to 6. He had a middle school score last night that the Swathers defeated your Vikings.
Yeah, the middle school had a tough night last night, falling 20-0 to Hesston. A pretty good Hesston squad. Our 7th grade group did end up winning the 5th quarter 6-0.
And there's a stoppage of play motion on the Vikings, so we're going to back it up third down now and a little more than 10 yards. Somebody moved. I didn't see it. I wasn't looking more at Lane Schrog and seeing what he was going to do. I wasn't looking at the linemen, so somebody moved somewhere. So just outside of the 15-yard line. They got to get just inside the 5-yard line for a first down. 6.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Vikings leading 22-0. Looking to ice this game away here if they could put a score on the board. 4 down territory, obviously. Wide receiver now, Winholtz out to the near side. Flanker to the near side as well. Schrog dropping back to pass. Rolling out, still rolling. Going to throw it to Elliott, and he drops it. Kind of a little bit behind him. It was going to only pick up 5 or 6 yards, but it was going to get halfway closer. Now they have 4th down and 10, so they have a little more room to go. You can go all the way for the touchdown. You can go for the first down, but either way, you got to get inside the 5-yard line. Now, where's that tight end pass to Blake Hebel?
And, you know, that play there, like you said, a tough play. We're rolling to the short side of the field. Even if he catches it, maybe picks up the yardage from the penalty, but we're not going to get much more. But now you do have a lot of space. You have 15 yards to the end zone, 10 yards to the first down.
Lambert and Winholtz out to the far side. Schrog rolling far side in there. Lambert. Touchdown. Lane Schrog to Tim Lambert as he went on the inside, faked it to the outside, and Schrog hit him, and he took the pass in just before he went out of bounds. A 15-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, well-run play by the Vikings. They split Windholtz out far side wide, had Lambert in the slot there, and then Windholtz pulls up on a little hitch. That allows Lambert to get a nice post play to the deep corner and leaves him free, isolated on number 3, Jordan Vogt. And he catches the ball in the deep corner of the end zone. The third touchdown pass of the night for Lane Schrog.
Wishbone formation for the Vikings for the 2-point conversion. Elliott not going to make it. Good defense. Swathers in the middle. And Elliott's PAT no good. And our score with 5:53 left to go in the ball game. Vikings up 28-0. Back right after this. Vikings tonight with their second possession of the quarter, or I guess this is their third possession of the half anyway, and put it in from 15 yards out to take a 28-0 lead. Raleigh Wilson again to kick it off to the Swathers. Line drive, bouncing kick picked up by one of the upbacks, fumbles it momentarily and gets up to the 40, near the 40-yard line before he's tripped up. He was at the 35, so only got about 3 yards on the return. And that's where the Hesston Swathers will take over 1st and 10. But the Vikings defense has certainly played an outstanding game tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right the first time. I think that was Smokey's second possession of the second half, because I think we've had the ball twice and they've had the ball twice, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Well, we did a 14-play, 87-yard drive. What was this last drive for us?
Do you remember, Jason? Yeah, we had trouble getting the stats to upload just right there, but we took over. Well, he intercepted at the 33, we had it back to about the 40, so 40 yards on that possession to score.
Probably 7, 6.
I want to say that maybe Hesston has had the ball maybe 4 minutes this whole entire half.
Well, they drove for a while, and then we got the interception. Here comes a delayed draw play to Arnold, and it's going nowhere. Guess who in the backfield? That time Dax Hop, but also Conrad Peterson back there wreaking havoc again.
He's doing a little bit of wreaking. He's doing a little bit of both back there tonight. I tell you, he's been back there a lot. We've called his name a number of times, and he's really causing problems back there while they're trying to get their plays run.
Vikings putting in a few substitutions. Jake Lucas coming in at one of the linebacker. Pass complete in the flat. There's Lane Schrog making a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. First play lost 2 yards. This play loses a couple more, so it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Swathers. And what an exceptional play. Lane Schrog, we've talked about him having 3 touchdown passes. He's had a couple of great defensive plays as well.
Well, both he and Carson Lindholtz have done a great job on the corners, especially as much throwing as they've done tonight, of keeping the ball in front of them and doing what they're supposed to do.
Cox looking to throw the ball downfield. He's got a receiver in and out of the hands of an intended receiver. He was more worried about where Carson Winholtz was. Carson Winholtz and Andrew Peters in coverage over there. They've each had an interception. Have we had 2 interceptions or 3? Carson had 1 and Lane had 1.
I think Carson had 1 and Andrew Peters had that other one. Lane caused the deflection on that one, though, that led to Andrew being able to pick up that interception.
Little late substitution. Court Elliott coming back in his linebacker position. Cox looking down. Again, collision. And they're going to throw a flag on that one, as Carson Winholtz maybe got there a little bit before the ball did. Intended receiver was Bollinger, and Carson Winholtz probably did get there just a step. We'll get to see it on the replay here, but that still was good defense. We'll take that penalty anytime.
Yeah, I think he was there. I think he might have got the hands reached around just a little bit early and wrapped him up high. I think that's what drew the flag. And, you've played such great defense throughout the night. You expect that maybe you might get one of those called on you at some point.
This is going to be interesting because it was 4th down. I forgot to mention that. It was 4th and 15. They're going to step off 15-yard lines, and they might have to measure. Nope, they're saying it's 1st down without a measurement.
Okay.
That wasn't necessarily an automatic 1st down. The official got to stop and tie his shoe up there. So stoppage of play for a moment, waiting for the official. The Viking D has been good. I'll take that penalty anytime because that was a bang play. 4:41 left to go in the 4th quarter. Vikings leading 28-0. 3 receivers far side for the Swathers. Cox looking far side. Now coming across on the slant is Bollinger, and he's wrapped up first by Peters and then by Adams on the tackle. 1st down play, though, for the Swathers. So Hesston finally starting to get some yardage put together, but the Vikings defense has certainly have given up yards. It's been a bend but not break kind of defensive night. 3 receivers to the near side this time. Cox looking near side quickly, and he bounces it to the intended receiver. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
And talking about that Viking defense, 2 weeks ago, I think we pitched a shutout at Haven. Is that right?
Yep.
And then last week you said, obviously we weren't here to see that one, but a pass that probably could have been intercepted ends up going for a score for Nickerson.
But then they don't get the extra points.
Exactly. And then a night tonight where you haven't given up any points to a pretty good Hesston team.
Pressure coming inside screen, complete. First down yardage and more. Trying to get to near the red zone is the intended receiver, number 12. That's Taves. A little wide out screen on the inside middle, and the Vikings, Cox was under pressure, but that was intended pressure, and it got a big gain. 2 first downs in a row for the Swathers. Trailing 28-0. They want to get on the scoreboard pretty desperately. 3 receivers near side. Cox looking over the Viking defense. Going to pull it in, and there's contact again, but that was well after the ball was there. Good job by Carson Winholtz. Bollinger went up to get it, had it go through his hands as Carson Winholtz was making contact, so great defensive play again.
Yeah, Winholtz read that play beautifully and knew it was going to be a slant. He actually bid on it faster than the receiver did, and if the receiver wouldn't have gotten there, that would have been an interception by Winholtz.
That probably would have been a pick 6 if he would have got there one step quicker. Looking to the near side, a little screen out in the flat by Arnold, and there's Cord Elliott finishing off the play. Wampler again in there a little late on that tackle, but no flags coming in. A loss on the play of nearly 7 or 8 yards, maybe 8 yards, back to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Wampler was hustling in there, but you're right. I think his only saving grace was the player was going down, and he ended up not making contact with him. He slid over the top of him. Otherwise, I think that might have been a late hit.
3 receivers to the far side. Arnold behind Cox. Cox looking down. Now he's getting flushed out of the pocket. He's rolling out to the far side, still rolling. Pass incomplete. Ball loose. Good defense again. Carson Winholtz just step for step with whatever receivers on his side. I know you like Carson Winholtz and Lane Schrog on your defensive sets for your Viking basketball team. I mentioned to Coach Lambert earlier, I said we may have the fastest secondary in the league with Winholtz and Schrog and Peters and Lambert.
Yeah, I don't know how you find ways to get open against those guys. It's so difficult because they're all over the place back there.
Yeah, those slant patterns are the only ones that are really very successful. They're 4th and long now. Here comes pressure. Wilson getting it. That could have been offensive pass interference. Lane Schrog with great position on Taves, and Cox was under pressure from Blake Hebel.
I think that was Wilson that time.
So that was Raleigh Wilson. Yeah, it was Raleigh Wilson. Not 35, but 32 on the pressure. And that goes incomplete on another 4th down, and the Vikings take over on downs.
It's been a tough night again for the Hesston Swather offense. They've moved the ball at times, but it's always come to an end. The Viking defense has always been able to stiffen and not allow anything to get further. I think they got to the 5-yard line the one time and had a stretch and came up about a half-yard shy of the first down. Otherwise, we have just kept them probably 20, 25 and out. And the Viking defense, again, just continues to get the job done. And the offense keeps being able to put points on the board and put some distance and make it even more difficult for Hesston to have a chance to come back.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. They're in the middle of the field. They were picking 10 yards up at a time. And the Vikings then, when it gets down to near the red zone, they have certainly excelled. First carry by the Vikings. I don't know who carried that.
I think that was Wilson up the middle on that play.
Yeah, I think they made some substitutions out. Now coming in at the backfield is Brant Hebel for Tim Lambert. Blake Hebel coming out. Andrew Peters in. Carson Winholtz out. Nope, Carson Winholtz back in. The Vikings substituting pretty many people. Grant Alkire, Lysel Alkire in at one of the offensive tackles right now, as well as Matt Adams as one of the guards. Quarterback is still Lane Schrog. Here comes the run up the middle and going for yardage. Big yardage for Hebel across midfield and down to near the 40-yard line and inside the 30-yard line. Brant Hebel, what a big blast up the middle, taking Cord Elliott's place at fullback. And that was how many yards? Turn you on, Jason. When you get it put in there, you're going to stop at the 27-yard line.
42 yards.
42-yard run by Brant Hebel.
Great hole created by the line up there. And Hebel hit that hole quickly, and he was headed up the field. Had 3 Swathers chasing him, but great run, great gain, great play by Brant Hebel.
That was on the Adams and Alkire Lysel side of the line, too. So good job by those two. I just mentioned those two. Long play count by Schrog. Here comes Raleigh Wilson powering his way down to the 21-yard line. Vikings are nearing the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number and say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Reminder also, don't miss the Rockingham Media Scoreboard Show, brought to you locally by RE/MAX Advantage Realtors tonight from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL. Get a recap of this game, scores from the area, and other wraps from other Rockingham media stations. That's the Rockingham Media Scoreboard Show, brought to you locally by RE/MAX Advantage Realtors from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL.
Here comes Raleigh Wilson for a carry near first down yardage. So it's going to be third and short. The MAC scores a final 62-6. Chapman and Clay Center. We'll see if we can get a catch up on that one. Campus went ahead 15-7 with 9 minutes to go over Salina South. Windholt's back in, wide receiver to the far side. Carson Byers wide to the near side. I formation behind Lane Schrog. Turn and hand it off to Brant Hebel. Brant Hebel, first down yardage inside the 15 down to the 14. So the Vikings move the chains once again, and with 46 seconds left to go. Look for them to probably take a knee here. 28-0 is our score.
Chapman Irish defeat the Clay Center Tigers tonight 20-0, so that puts the Irish at 4-0 on the season. And, of course, the Vikings take on Clay Center next week at Clay Center.
Halstead and Rock Creek. Halstead is winning that one pretty handily. So the two 3-0 teams are going to go to 4-0. The two 0-3 teams are going to go to 0-4. And looks like Lane Schrog will take a knee here. And he snaps it, and that will be the final play as we're under 20 seconds. And the Vikings are going to win this game by the score of 28-0. A great, great effort by the Vikings, a great effort by the defense. And our final score from Anderson Stadium, Vikings 28, Hesston 0. We'll be back to wrap up this game for you after this timeout.
Overhead Door Company of North Central Kansas invites you to visit their website at odcnck.com. Once there, you can look over the products that Overhead Door offers for commercial and residential installation and repair. Overhead Door Company services all of North Central Kansas.
Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service, and coverage for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Do you know what major TV networks, Hall of Fame athletes, wineries, pubs, famous chefs, and brides and grooms from across the country have in common? They all purchase custom-etched glassware at glassdecorators.com. EmsloyGlassDecorators.com have been providing carefully etched glass.
With advanced certification in both wellness and sports injury management, he is the resident expert in the Smoky Valley, helping others live long, active, healthy lives since 1995.
I really appreciate the faculty and staff here at Bethany. They care about their students and they're helping them achieve their goals and to be successful.
This is a Christian-based college, and I felt that he was in the right hands when I left him here.
We chose Bethany College so my son could have a good life.
If you want inspired learning at an affordable price, choose Bethany College. Learn more about your good life at bethanylb.edu.
This is the Bank of Teskett Postgame Show. Coming up, the Salina Ortho Player of the Game, scores from around the area, final stats, and an interview with the coach. This is Smoky Valley Vikings football on 95.5 The Rock.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College as the Vikings take care of business on homecoming night, a pivotal matchup between the Swathers and the Vikings, but the Vikings totally dominate on the scoreboard. We'll get some stats for you after a while. 28-0 was the final. The Vikings opened up the first possession and took it 12 plays, 79 yards. That drive culminating in the second attempt at fourth down and 3 from the 20 or from the 36-yard line, and it was a 36-yard pass from Lane Schrog to Trey Kennedy. The point after was no good, and it was 6-0. It was 6:27. That drive taking almost half of the first quarter. The defense stiffened, and a quick 3-and-out for Hesston gave the ball back to the Vikings. But the Vikings driving a ways and fumble it away inside a minute left. But both teams traded 3-and-outs, 4-and-outs. Hesston going for it 4 different times in the second quarter, and the Vikings turning them away every time and getting the ball back. The Vikings had a punt a couple of times, but then setting up right before the end of the half, a 3-play, 61-yard drive. That culminated in a 23-yard run by Lane Schrog right up the middle. The 2-point conversion by Lambert was good, and with just 10 seconds left before halftime, it was 14-0. And then the third quarter, Hesston driving, and the Vikings defense stiffened again. They went for it on fourth down in the Viking territory, and the Vikings got the ball back on a Peters. I don't think he intercepted there, but they just got the ball back on fourth down, and then the Vikings had it a possession, and they ended up punting the ball away. They got it back to the Hesston Swathers, and then Peters came away with a great interception. And then we got to the fourth quarter, and the Vikings' 14-play, 87-yard drive culminated in a pass from Lane Schrog to Blake Hebel. The first play of the fourth quarter, the Vikings facing a 4th and goal from the 4-yard line, and Lane Schrog hits Blake Hebel on a tight end streak up the middle at 4 yards, and he was wide open. The point after was good. And with 11:57 left in the fourth quarter, the Vikings led 22-0. And then later in the quarter, on the next drive, Carson Winholt's interception set the Vikings up, and they took it 40 yards. That drive culminated, 7-play, 40-yard drive. That drive culminated in a 15-yard touchdown pass, the third of the night, to Tim Lambert, again on fourth down. And with 5:53 to go, the Vikings took a 28-0 lead. The 2-point conversion by Elliott was no good. And then the Vikings would run out the clock in the fourth quarter. And that was a great, great game for Smoky Valley. This is the Bank of Tescott postgame show, Generations of Confidence, Relationships for Life. Member FDIC asked about their new CASA checking account in Lindsborg, Salina, Lincoln, and Tescott. Joining us now, Coach, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts on the game tonight after the Vikings defense, your defensive, Coach Henderson, your defensive group stiffened, bending but not breaking all night? You had several fourth downs that you kept them from converting, and then that goal line, basically a goal line stand down there, although they could have got a first down, but the defensive group was just outstanding tonight.
Well, yeah, they were. It was a really hard scout for us because the quarterback Cox hadn't played, right, and Roth didn't play against Pratt. So we only had one game film, and we didn't have either of their 2 big aces in there. So knowing exactly what we were going to get from them, we weren't quite sure. So we kind of tried to prepare our kids for a variety of what we've seen from them the last few years. Cox and Roth, they're great players. They're really good players. But the key turning point of the game was when we stopped them on that fourth down when they were down around the 5-yard line. And then when we scored right before the end of the half, I thought Coach Lambert was masterful in his play calling tonight, just masterful. And Lane 5 out of 10. But when he needed it or when it was important, Lane puts it on the money. I mean, he's a ball player. I mean, he's going to make a play when he has to. The secondary was tremendous tonight. Did a great job on the defensive line. You know how they had to rush the pass. I mean, Roth only had 14 yards rushing. We just shut them down completely. They took the run game completely away from them. And then we had to rely on our secondary and trying to get a little bit of a pass rush. I don't know if you saw our defensive linemen, but they gave.
We mentioned them a couple of times.
They gave enough of an effort and a push up front to where he just couldn't quite be comfortable and just standing back there unabated. And then we hit him a few times too. But hats off to Coach Peters, who coaches the secondary, and Coach Lambert, who deal with the secondary, and then Coach Elliott and Coach McClure did a great job with the defensive linemen. I thought that we played very good defensively tonight. I don't want to get too carried away with that. I don't want to jinx us defensively, but we played very well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just dominated the line of scrimmage.
Tackled very well in space. I think we've only missed 1 or 2 tackles in space all night long. So
yeah, made it sure that they got a completion, but they didn't get first down yardage. And we talked about they were bringing their wide receiver into the middle of the field, and they were completing those little short passes, but they're only 2 or 3 yards, so they weren't hurting you. And we've never seen a Hesston team go away from the run and go to the pass more than they did tonight, and that was just a compliment to your defensive front, the front 4 plus the linebackers, on how great a job they were doing of watching everything happening in front of them.
Yeah, and they got geared up. They played it exactly like we coached it, as far as to take the run away. And we saw some things coaching-wise that gave us some help there too. Which I'm happy about, and I appreciate the help from my assistants too, and the reassurance that what we thought they were going to do and what we were doing to counter it, we thought maybe would happen in the game worked, and so that was great to see. But our kids, executed it. Just proud of them.
You mentioned Lane Schrog. Yeah, he came up with big play after big play, a couple of fourth down completions on the touchdown to Kennedy and the touchdown to Hebel and the touchdown to Lambert. I mean, all those, I think, are either the third or I know 2 of them were on fourth down, so he came through in the clutch.
Yeah, and then Timmy had 183 yards in total offense.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to defend him when he's running it and hope he doesn't break away, and then he gets you out on the edge, and what are you going to do then? I mean, you got a matchup nightmare then.
And then you say, what are you going to do then? Makes me think of your next game on the road at Clay Center. We didn't play very well on the road at Nickerson, so you got another road game. They ended up getting beat by Chapman tonight, so it's an important game because you can't lose to a team that's 0-4.
Yeah, you can't lose. We can't lose to a team that's 0-4. It's a district game. This was huge tonight. Sure. It's a district game, and getting the points, 28-0, is great for us. We'll have to watch film. We'll have to see what's going on with Clay Center, and we're going to have to go up there and dot our I's and cross our T's and play like we're capable of. Especially, it's always football is always a game of blocking and tackling.
Yep.
And we've got to go up there and we've got to block and we got to tackle. We got to be fundamentally sound and take care of business.
Well, congratulations on a great win, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you. So proud of the kids. What a super hard. I mean, our kids played really hard tonight. So proud of them.
Absolutely. The effort was outstanding. The effort outstanding last week was good, too, but it was even better tonight.
Yep.
The Vikings with a 28-0 lead, and that was Coach James Henderson of the Vikings, and doing a great job as always. And I know, Doug, you're putting together some scores. We also start having to get our heads together and think about this line of ortho player of the game. That'll be coming up in just a little bit, but you got some scores. You want Jason to do stats
I
first?
can do some scores real quick. We got Salina Central over Hutch 62-20.
What? 62 points.
62-20. They're really going off there. Nickerson 27-7 over Holcomb. Central Plains 46-0 over Little River. You mentioned the McPherson score 62-6 over Abilene. Halstead 52-16 over Rock Creek. That is a final now for sure. El Saline 27-13 over Sedgwick. Bueller trails Mulvane 33-21. The last score we had, Campus 15-7 over South. That was early according to the score chart. Hugoton up 23-17 in a close one over Kingman. Andale finishes off Haven 65-0.
I figured that would happen.
Hillsboro 45, Sacred Heart 24, and Inman 62, Marion 34. Those are some of the updates we have now. Jason, you want to take away stats?
Another dominating game for Smoky Valley. Total offense with 390 yards compared to Hesston's 166 yards. Hesston threw it 17 for 32, 134 yards passing. Smoky Valley 5 for 10 with 111 yards passing. Hesston 32 yards on the ground, 18 attempts with an average of 1.8 yards per rush. Smoky Valley with 53 rushes for 279 yards. Penalties, Hesston 5 penalties for 40 yards. Smoky Valley 6 penalties for 55 yards. 2 turnovers for Hesston, 1 turnover for Smoky Valley. Time of possession, Hesston 17 minutes and 49 seconds to Smoky Valley's 30 minutes and 11 seconds. Third down conversions, Hesston 2 for 10, Smoky Valley 4 for 14. Fourth down conversions, Hesston 2 for 6, and Smoky Valley converting on all 6 of their fourth down conversions.
Wow.
Individual stats for Hesston, Cameron Cox 17 for 32, passing with 134 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Rushing for Hesston, Parker Roth with 8 rushes for 14 yards. We talked about he had 3,800 career total yards coming into the game, and we held him to 14. Max Arnold, 4 rushes for 11 yards, and Cameron Cox, 6 rushes for 7 yards. Receiving, Hesston, Parker Roth with 4 receptions for 52 yards. Grady Toes, 3 for 38 yards. Ben Bollinger, 4 for 32. Jacob Eilert, 2 for 11. Garrett Slater, 1 for 8. Brady Cox, 2 for -1, and Max Arnold, 1 for -6. Parker Roth with 9 tackles, 4 solo, 10 assisted tonight. Grady Toes, 7 tackles. Jordan Vogt, 6.5. Cameron Weaver, 4.5. Blake Martin, 4.5. Landon Spencer, 4. Sean Dirksen with 3, and numerous ones under 3. Smoky Valley, individual stats, Lane Schrog, 5 for 10, 111 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Rushing, Tim Lambert, 22 attempts, 112 yards, 0 touchdowns. Lane Schrog, 9 attempts for 57 yards and 1 touchdown. Court Elliott, 17 rushes for 54 yards, 0 touchdowns. Brant Hebel with 2 rushes for 46 yards, 0 touchdowns. Raleigh Wilson for 3 rushes and 10 yards. Receiving, Tim Lambert, 3 receptions for 71 yards and 1 touchdown. Trey Kennedy, 1 reception for 36 yards, 1 touchdown. And Blake Hebel with 1 reception for 4 yards and 1 touchdown. Defensively, Lane Schrog led the way, 6.5 tackles. Blake Hebel with 6. Carson Windholtz, 5.5. Court Elliott with 5. Matthew Adams, 4.5. Tim Lambert, 3. Andrew Peters, 2.5. Ethan Wampler, Conrad Peterson with 1.5. Conrad also had the 1 sack. Trey Kennedy with 1 tackle. Raleigh Wilson, Chase Pywell, Haven Lysell, Dax Hopp, all with 1 tackle as well. John Burks with a 1/2 tackle, and Nate Grosland with a 1/2 tackle. Punting, Jake Lucas, 2 punts for 57 yards with an average of 28.5. Hesston had 1 punt for 33 yards.
Don't have to punt it very often when you go 6 for 6 on 4th down. What an amazing stat. There's so many things that we need to think about for player of the game, but thanks for the stats, Jason, and my goodness, how do you choose? Are we going to flip a coin, or are we just going to give it to the whole team?
A couple of things that stand out to me. Of course, Lambert goes for, like Coach Henderson said, 22 carries, 112 yards. And then he also has 3 receptions for 71. We talked about the defensive line. We talked about how often Conrad Peterson was back there tonight. But not just him, a lot of guys. It just seemed like we said his name a number of times. But, going off what you said last week, and kind of a tougher outing for Lane Schrog last week. And I think he bounced back tremendously tonight. When you look at those numbers, 5 for 10, 111 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, and then also add in what he did on the ground. 9 carries, 57 yards, 6.3 yards per carry. Of those starting running backs, he had the most yards per carry of any of those 3 guys, and a score on the ground. And not only that, but the way he played defense tonight as well. He also was up there as our leading tackler with 6.5 tackles, 6 of those being solos. Then has the deflected ball, which leads to the interception by Andrew Peters. I probably got to go with Lane Schrog tonight if I had to pick one, and that's a close race, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not a runaway, but you look at how he managed the game and what he did on both sides of the football. Pretty impressive night for Lane.
You take that 6 for 6 on 4th down. 5 of those plays, at least he had a hand in
what they had to do. And the first score, I mean, the 29-yard pass to Trey Kennedy, you're facing fourth down. It's a pivotal game, and he's so wide open. That's one you could certainly throw over or underthrow or something, but he put it right on the money. And I would concur that Lane is very well worthy of player of the game.
Five completions and 3 of them are touchdowns. You got to like how that plays out.
So Lane Schrag is our Salina Ortho player of the game, and the Vikings come away with a victory. And like we mentioned with Coach Henderson, we got to go on the road next week at Clay Center. Even though they're 0-4, they play at home. You got to be ready for a team that has traditionally matched up with us pretty well.
They get pretty fired up to play us too. It's a tough place to go play. It's not a bad field, but at the same time, it's just a very loud atmosphere up there at Clay Center, whether it's football or basketball.
You're thinking basketball. That's probably the loudest gym we play.
Yeah, it really is. But even last year, when we had to go back up there for the playoff game, it was a tremendous game to have to go back up there and compete. They had some pretty solid athletes. They always seem to have some solid athletes. They're obviously off to a rough start this year, but it's a game. It's one of those games that can jump up and bite you if you're not ready for it. And so we've got to come out and continue what we've been doing here. Well, what a great opening for our defense. 2 of our games are shutouts. The other 2 we give up 6 and 7, 13 points total on the year. We need another outing like that, and we just need to continue to build offensively. And I think if we can do those things, it should be a good night for us next Friday as well.
We hope so. It'll be a broadcast that will go on live on the air at 6:45 and kicked off at 7 o'clock against the Clay Center Tigers. Any final thoughts on tonight's victory?
Again, just another impressive performance. It's so I keep coming in here saying how great the front 7 are, and then we throw in the fastest 4 defensive backs you could throw out there. It's just so much fun to watch them cover the field. And you pointed out, I know we're probably belaboring the whole Conrad Peterson, but he's on the right side of the line, and he chases the guy over to the left side of the field to make a play. It's just a not quit type of group, and they all do it, not just one of them. They're all engaged. They're all involved. We certainly are hoping that Mr. Kennedy comes back well. It looks like maybe it might just be a sprain. So we're hoping that's going to be positive news and we can get him back, because what a night for him as well to start the game with that touchdown pass. And we want to keep all of our guys healthy and ready to go. So thoughts and prayers out to him. Hopefully we can get him back healthy here soon and get him back on the field.
Well, it was a bruising game as Nate Groslin went out with a little injury. Tim Lambert went out with a hit from Parker Roth. Parker Roth, we certainly hope he will be okay too. He was the one that delivered that big hit, but then he went out later in the game. So it was a football game tonight. It was a mano game tonight. There was a lot of big hits on both teams.
It was, and the Vikings still prevailed 28-0.
28-0 is our final. That is the final score, and that will wrap up our broadcast tonight. The Vikings win at 28-0, improved to 4-0 in the season, 1-0 in district, and we'll be on the road next Friday from Clay Center. Don't forget to tune in to the Bethany College Swedes tomorrow night. Kickoff at 6 o'clock from Southwestern as the Swedes hoping to get their second victory of the year. For Jason, for Doug, this is Don wishing everybody a very pleasant good night. We'll also thank Jared for helping us, and we'll talk to you next week from Clay Center. Take care, everyone, and good night.
Trust your Smoky Valley real estate needs to Maury Loader.